Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. We are excited to be back here. Took last week off because of traveling, and it was our first week back on the road. And as you can hear in my voice, that's 2 live shows in a night there that you hear. Which is rough. So thank you, by the way, for everybody that came out to the Tempe Improv to do that. That was really fun. We had a blast. Thank you. So many people were there for both shows, which is like a 6-hour night there if you're there before the show, and you have to wait for them to flip the room and all that. And then 2 shows on top of it. So thank you for hanging with us. We really do appreciate it. Thank you. Other things we want to thank you for, reviews. Thanks for those. They help a lot. If you haven't done it yet, this is the week. Get on there, give a review. Doesn't matter what you say, just give 5 stars and say
we'll be thankful.
We like these people. Yes, it's Thanksgiving. There you go. Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks for putting a little guilt into it.
Thank you, James.
I appreciate it. So do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Goodness, the goodness this week is coming. We have lots of good episodes. Last episodes of bonus, such good reaction. We're happy you enjoyed the Fist episode and the real estate report. This week, no exception. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to both shows, Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports, Patreon, everything that comes with it. For Crime and Sports this week, we have Sports Superstitions, which are a lot of fun. People's crazy, weird rituals that they do before, whether it's
Pitchers are popular for it,
Wade Boggs' chicken, or, everybody has, Wade Boggs, he ate chicken like every game for his entire career, which is a lot of chicken.
I just thought he had a pet chicken in his locker.
He kind of runs like a chicken. That would be a superstition, like like Serrano. He's going to sacrifice it. But there's all sorts of weird superstitions that athletes have had throughout the years, and we're going to find the weirdest ones and talk about them, which will be hilarious, obviously.
Like the guy that thinks flies are lucky?
See, that happens. They're everywhere. And then for Small Town Murders, we're going to do something very crazy. We're going to talk about the NXIVM cult, which is amazing, because that is like where cults and multi-level marketing cross. If there's a Venn diagram right in the middle, it's NXIVM. And we're going to talk about kind of how it relates to Scientology, because they based a lot of it on it, and it's obvious. It's very strange stuff. We're going to talk about, of course, the grossness and the sexual things and the harem of women and actresses, and it's insanity. We'll talk all about NXIVM. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all that good stuff. And it's Thanksgiving, so thank you, and you can thank us back by doing that. If you just want to say thank you on PayPal, you can do that as well using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com, and you can make a donation, and you'll get a shout out at the end of the show. Either way you do it, we will thank you so much via shout out at the end of the show. That said, let's get down to business. Jimmy, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd love to. That sounds terrific.
Let's get on with this. It's been a while since we have done an MMA fighter, because
when was the last one?
We've done a lot of brain damage sports. I think it was Andrew Wadsworth, the murderer. I think he was the last one. I
don't remember. That's possible.
What he did was disgusting. He was absolutely one of our grossest episodes.
Yeah.
This week we're going to go with somebody very famous, because whenever there's a week off, you're getting hit hard on the way back in. And we have to, it's almost an apology. Sorry we had to take a week off. Here's a heavy hitter. And we're going to do it here with John Bones Jones. Let's do it.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into this guy this week.
It's about time.
We have watched his resume stack as we've done this.
It's gotten really good.
When we first started this, people used to recommend him, and we would go, it's just not there.
Just an undergrad. It's just, not a big deal.
I mean, it was percolating. There was a few things, and it was fun and crazy, but he has gone off the deep end in the last couple of years into a place.
He's gotten his master's and PhD in butt fuckery. He's an asshole.
It's so much where he's going to be wading into scumbag of the year territory, which is from an opening act to a headlining scumbag is pretty impressive in a 5-year period. We're very impressed with him. So let's get into him. Brain damage, and he even says he has a lot of brain trauma, and that might explain his actions somewhat, and also seems to be a bit of an asshole when it comes down to it at times. So let's do it. Jonathan Dwight Jones.
His real name is John Jones.
Real name is John Jones, Jon, and Dwight is the middle name. Bones is his nickname. We'll get into how he got that nickname. Had nothing to do with fighting whatsoever.
No?
Do you know anything about his family?
No. I know nothing. I know. Okay, so here's my extent of and the long and the short start to end of John Bones Jones history that I know.
What do you got?
He's a fighter.
Yes.
He's an asshole. That's all I know.
And we're talking about him. You're going to be so surprised because you know his brothers, actually. You know, not personally, but you know who they are. Yeah, one definitely, absolutely, you know. We'll talk about it here. John Bones Jones, born July 19th, 1987. Here in
no shit.
Yeah, he's not that old. He's a young guy. Rochester, New York. He's from, which is way western New York. If you've ever been to Rochester, you know it because you're in New York, but you're like, what is that accent? That could peel paint off the walls. Where am I? Cleveland? What's happening here? It's very strange. So western.
My mom has that accent. It's not good.
That western New York accent is something.
Yeah,
it is just a. Oof,
I remember as a kid, before I'd ever heard like a real New York accent, people would ask my mom where she's from, and she'd say New York, and the fucking ponderous. What?
Really? You don't
say again?
Because I can't place that accent, but it doesn't sound like it's from Brooklyn. I don't know.
No shit. Say pizza.
Yeah. What's going on here? Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's born in Rochester, grows up there for about 10 years, and then they move to Binghamton, which is also terrible. So you got both of those places. Binghamton sucks so bad. I had a cousin that went to college there. It's a good college, got accepted, went there, and then dropped out, went to a different college because he couldn't he couldn't take Binghamton. He's like, I can't.
The town.
It snows in feet. It's just horrible. Yeah, you can't. Yeah. New York is littered with these SUNY colleges, they're called, which are State University of New York, and that's what all these little towns thrive on all throughout. Every town has a college, so there's a bunch of drunk 20-year-olds wandering through every small town in New York. Now,
but they're good schools, right? The SUNY schools.
Yeah, they're all good schools. Yeah, they're all good state schools. Are all.
It's not like community colleges that are littered in Phoenix.
No, they're 4-year schools. You go away to them and you live in this weird little town, and it's like it's like a strange 50s college movie. It's just a weird shit.
Fantastic.
So early in his life, his parents we'll talk about. His mother's name is Camille, which I can't not say in my head. It only exists in Bill Cosby's voice. Just my wife, Camille. Yeah, it comes out so clearly. And my whole childhood, that was programmed with himself. How many times you listen to himself on a fucking cassette tape going, my wife, Camille.
Yeah, everybody knows her, and she has the money for the tickets.
She's got the money for the tickets. If my son wants money for a ticket, give him money for a ticket. Now. Sorry. Now. Everything started now. That's how we reset every fucking thing where it's like, now the punchline's now meant pay attention for the next 20 seconds because the punchline's coming. Now.
He literally told his dumbass audience to listen up.
Yep. It's a reset. That's some shit a comic picks up after 30 years of doing shit, and just you get those little weird tells. Because every comic has like a cue to the microphone. His is to drop a pill in your drink, but that's a different one than most people. He litters the front row with fucking roofies, and then people fall over and he takes his pick. Some people might tip their microphone to the left or something
Yeah.
to show that they just said
Doing
something.
his set, he literally told people, now listen. You don't have to listen now.
Every time. If you haven't heard it in a long time, I know people are whatever, but just YouTube Bill Cosby, any joke of his. At some point he goes, now. Anytime past
amazing.
like 1968, he does that. So his mother's name, Camille, and his father's name is Arthur, and he is a pastor. So they are...
I was fixing to say, they sound very astute people. Like they got their shit together.
That's a good family. This is a real good family, top-notch family here. There's no... he cannot blame his upbringing for this. No, because you look at his brothers and you're like, nope, they're doing great. What the fuck's wrong with you? What's your fucking
Is it
problem?
Julio, James?
No, it's not Julio.
Oh, okay.
It's more surprising almost.
Okay.
So he's a father or a pastor at Mount Sinai Church of God in Christ in Binghamton, New York. It's a lot.
Didn't know.
Mount Sinai Church of God in Christ. Oof, that's a lot. We like Christ, just have a big thing. Christ, thumbs up, yay.
Is there a church called I Heart Christ?
I Heart Christ with a thumbs up emoji. That's what,
especially in New York.
yeah, a thumbs up emoji and all the different shades it comes in. Anybody who likes Jesus, come on in. It says it all. It's all you need.
Yeah.
So John is the third of 4 kids. So he's got 2 older brothers and, an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother.
Got it.
Okay. Now, his older sister's name is Carmen. And this is horrible. She dies of a brain tumor.
What?
Before her 18th birthday, which is
That's 17.
tragic. Yeah, that's absolutely fucking tragic.
And that
obviously.
usually doesn't happen like you just fucking go. You know what I mean? She had a tough few years, I imagine. That's brutal.
It's so brutal because it's so weird that like the 4 kids, 3 of them are physically impeccable, and one just short-circuited and died of a brain tumor before they even became an adult. It's right. Like, I don't know if it's like the Danny DeVito in Twins theory, like
all this shit came together
and got used up already.
Yeah,
I don't know what
they said
happened.
about him. I'm not saying that about her.
No. That's from the movie Twins. That's what we're talking
all
about.
this shit came together and made you.
Yeah. No, this poor girl, she died when she's 17. It's tragic and fucking horrible. Her older brother, Arthur III, by the way, his dad's a junior.
Oh my!
So yeah, he's a junior's son, but not the third because his brother's the third. His older brother.
But that lets you know fuckery was on the way.
Oh yeah, that's one.
You should have known.
It's the only hint. That's the thing. The family, they're all like smart people, nice people. Yeah. They had one hint, and it's like that they're just going to keep doing that. So there's something. They didn't know.
Before this show, James, the third and junior sounded prestigious.
Yeah, people didn't know.
They had no idea.
Now they're hiding it. They should be anyway.
Yeah,
they should. You know how many of all of our listeners, they all say whenever they see like a football player, anybody with junior on their back, they're like automatically suspect. It's programmed. It's not even like a conscious thought. It's just like, oh boy, look out for this one.
What'd you do?
It's just so strange. So now Arthur ends up playing in high school at Endicott, Union Endicott High School. Arthur's 6'3", 280 pounds.
Holy shit!
His brother's
that's a big pastor.
A big.
Oh, that's the third.
Arthur the third here. He was a 3-star recruit out of high school for college football here, and he ended up playing college football. And Arthur ends up playing as well in the NFL. He plays from 2010 to 2017 in the NFL. Which is
7 years.
Oh yeah, he was on Baltimore's Super Bowl winning team.
No shit.
He's got a ring. He played for Indianapolis and Washington. So
incredible.
He didn't even get knock around and play for 5 teams in the last 2 years and get cut. He played for 3 teams in 7 years. That's a very respectable.
Solid 7 and 7 years. That's a
great career.
More than double the average.
3.5 years is the average, and he's a defensive lineman. This guy, obviously, the size of him,
even
he's
harder,
fucking monster. And now his brother Chandler's even better. Chandler Jones of the Arizona Cardinals.
The fuck out of here.
That's his little brother.
How did I not know that?
That's
the young one?
That's Bones' little brother. Yeah, that's his
You're
little
telling
bro.
me the sack record holder for the Arizona Cardinals is John Bones Jones' brother?
You bet your fucking ass it is. Yep. I had no idea. I had no clue about that. I don't know how that's not more known. Yeah, you'd think that they would go, wow, he hit him hard, knocked him out like his brother would knock out a man in the first round with elbows.
I can tell you why.
Well,
wait until the end of this show. That's why.
Yeah, but at the time, though, I mean, he played for New England at first. He was only a 2-star recruit coming out of high school, by the way.
Really?
So it just goes to show you didn't blossom yet. And turns out
most career sacks for the most recent team he plays for. The guy's unstoppable.
Oh, he is. He played for New England at first. That's who he's drafted by. And then he signed a 5-year, $82.5 million contract with the Cardinals as a free agent. So since then, he's been a Super Bowl champion with New England. Yeah. He is a 2-time first-team All-Pro, which is the first fucking team, 3-time Pro Bowl. He was the NFL sacks leader in 2017, won the Butkus Award, which is the best NFL linebacker in 2019. He's on the NFL 2010s All-Decade team for the whole fucking league. New England Patriots 2010s All-Decade team. NFC Defensive Player of the Year 2019. All-Rookie team. He's got over 100 sacks. He's got 105 sacks, which is a pretty, rarefied air. That's pretty fucking impressive.
And he has 5 in one game, and he has the record for the most sacks all time for the Cardinals. Yeah, that's incredible. The guy's just a force.
He's a beast. Yeah, he's an absolute force, and much like his brother is in the octagon.
Wow.
Jones is an asshole, but John, that is, not Chandler. John's an asshole, but you can't take anything away from what he does professionally. He's incredible. I mean, no one's ever beat him. Put it that way, as we'll talk about. So, I mean, you can't beat the fucking guy. So he's got that locked down. Now, he wanted to fight, and he was into wrestling, John was. He also played football in high school as well, which is how he got his nickname, apparently. He was a defensive lineman, and he's like my size, basically.
Pretty skinny
6'4". He's about 195 pounds. So playing off our defensive line, so the coach nicknamed him Bones. That's how it was.
The skinny one.
Yeah, Bones. That's how it was. Because
and it rhymes.
Your brother's in the NFL. You're going to play. You're going to try at least. Your brother's a star player. So now his father didn't want him to fight at all. He didn't like him doing wrestling or any of that. He said, quote, "I wanted him to preach." Oh, he wanted him to be a preacher. He said, "I tried to discourage him from being a fighter. I told him, you don't want to do that. You can do other things. Be a pastor." That's what he told him. So John did not. He did the opposite of that, which
his dad birthed and raised 3 primetime athletes.
This family, honestly, I'm trying to think of another family that has raised 3 athletes of this caliber. I honestly can't. The Mannings have 2.
Yeah, there's that.
I guess the father there, so there would be 3, but not 3 sons.
The Greek Freak has 4 brothers.
Yeah.
One of them plays on his team, and the other is so young right now, but he's like the best high school kid. I mean, he may be in college now. He's going to make the NBA also. So there's a family.
That's a family. Yeah.
But that's about it, right?
I mean, and we're not, because I'm talking from one generation, not multi-generational. Because you could start saying a lot of guys can do the dads
and quality.
And the sons.
There's got to be quality.
Yeah. These guys are all. I mean, the 2 of them have rings for Christ's sake, and one's one of the best defensive players. Yeah, and one's one of the best defensive players, the NFL All-Decade team. He's fucking, he's as good as it gets for where he is. He's making $82 million. That's a lot.
Incredible.
That's incredible. So he said that, and this is something that's hilarious. The father said then he didn't want him to do it, but then he started thinking about it, and he began to recognize that there's a connection between faith and MMA.
Oh. What, like when a guy says, "Oh my God"?
This is, Sodom and Gomorrah, technically, I guess, if you want to talk about what it looks like. But that's just, if you want to talk about biblical stories, that's, whatever. But anyway.
A pummeling like the crucifixion? Is that what you mean?
He says, quote, "In biblical times, there was always warfare. David and Goliath, Samson, the enemies of the Israelites." He said, "They fought in the valleys, on the hills, in the mountains. My son trains for every fight, not just physically, but spiritually."
Oh, my God.
Hey, you know what? It's working. Like if that's what it is, maybe he needs that. That's great. Good for him.
It's amazing. That's a hell of a way to justify trying to kill a man.
With knees and elbows. and or choking him till he's unconscious. Right. Either one. So his father also says that John always had a special presence, a charisma, if you will, since birth. Yeah. Since birth, mind you. As a young baby, you could look into his eyes, and he said, quote, this is a wild quote here, quote, he was born like that. Even when he was a baby, he didn't have to say, pick me up. You knew. Even when he cried, he would look you in the eye. Even then, he just had a commanding presence. Okay.
He's like the baby Grinch. Jesus.
Sounds like he's going to say, now, next. Yeah. Something. Commanding presence. If your fucking infant has a commanding presence, you worry about that kid. Maybe you should take it to church because it might be possessed by something, because I've never seen a baby with a commanding presence that can't get itself up.
It's a little frightening, for sure.
Too much, man. Then he says this. Now, we're going to talk. This will come back once or twice because I just want to tell you what his dad said, and then we'll tell you what practically that's worked out as in his life.
Yeah.
Quote, he says he feels as though his son this is his son's way of ministering to the world, the word of God being out there.
Beating the word of God into my face?
He said, quote, in a way, I think John is preaching. Now, never in his fucking career would I call anything he's doing preaching, whether it be in the ring or extracurricular or anything. There's no preaching happening here.
I've never
preach with
heard
my fists.
I've never heard Arthur Jr. preach, but I will tell you this. Whatever he says is fantastic because he is selling this bullshit impeccably.
He really is. I'm telling you. He's good, I think. I think he's good. Like, I think if you went to his congregate, I think he'd be real entertaining, I believe. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think he'd be good. You're like, yeah, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about. Because this is some grade A bullshit is what this is. I mean... This is ridiculous.
There's no Jesus in the MMA. Stop.
No. And then out of the ring, he's like, well, we'll find out. But there's always cocaine involved and something. Yeah. He's got a gun all the time. I preach with my elbows. So John says this. He doesn't really expand on this, but he says, quote, my life hasn't always been great. Being sexually assaulted as a child, losing a parent and a sibling, because mom dies later on. We'll talk about that at a young age. He wasn't that young when his mom died. He was young. He wasn't a kid. It just goes on, man. I have some things to take care of. So I'm
so sad for him now.
That's his story there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's the only time he's mentioned it. I don't know the details. We don't know.
There's no other mention of this?
No, he says it in a quote once, and then he doesn't really go into it and say, like, oh, yeah, like Tyson says, an old man pulled me into a building and all that kind of shit. I understand. No one's forcing anybody to fucking publicly tell us what happened to your butthole. Tell us. It's all right to know. Like, that's fine. We don't need to do that.
It is hard to tell.
Where did he touch you is not my business. So if he said it's fine. But if he wants to keep it private, I get it.
The story will make him cry. I guarantee that.
Yeah, we don't need to push that out of him.
It's not easy to tell.
This is one area where I'll say, John, this is on you, and you can keep it or let it out as much as you want. That's not our right. So he goes to high school, Union Endicott, just like his brothers do. Man, they must have just been like, thank you, Jones family. For star football players and a star wrestler, as we'll talk about as well here.
Our football team and wrestling team are fantastic for 4 years.
Because of your family. Thank you.
Right.
So he meets a girl there as well, of course. Right. In his junior year, he meets our John was a senior, she was a junior. He meets a young lady named Jessie with an IE there. And Jessie Moses is her name. And they're going to stick together for a long time. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that here. From now on they're together. So just know that from the time he's a senior, she's a junior, she's around.
I understand it because she's there before everything, but that's not good, right?
I mean, it doesn't seem smart. I wouldn't advise my children to find someone when they're a junior in high school and stick with them for the rest of their lives, probably.
Perfect. You found it.
Not what I would advise, but hey, if it works for you, I guess. We'll find out if it works for everybody involved in that.
Your soulmate happened to be in your same history class. That's crazy. Do
Wild,
you have any
right?
idea?
Isn't it crazy that your soulmate lives within 3 miles of the school in a radius? That's incredible how that works. They just put a circle around the school, and there's your soulmate. You're both in the circle. Lucky you. Shocking. Fucking shocking.
Is it a soulmate, or did you settle? Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, it's just the odds are that you could probably keep looking. You know what I mean? If you wouldn't walk into a grocery store and just the first thing you see on a shelf go, that's what I'm having for dinner. Strawberry Oreos, they're on sale. I'm having that for dinner. Like, you go in a little further. Maybe there's fucking good steak on sale or something. Go check it out. Go in there.
I promise there's something better, because those are bad Oreos.
Oh, they're goddamn terrible. But that's what happens, though. If that's the first thing you see, you go, that's a good idea. Strawberry Oreo, sure. But then you bite it.
Strawberry
go,
Oreos and onion straws? That sounds great.
Perfect. Done. Dinner served. I love it. And some of those honey mustard pretzels, done.
Bed of onion straws.
Blazing blue cheese buffalo combos, and I'm in. Fuck it. Nobody's got to touch it. It's so silly. So he ends up in high school, does very well. He is the New York State, whatever, Division I state champion. The team is, I guess, in 2005 that he's
for wrestling
that he's a part of here, and he is National High School Coaches Association Senior All-American in 2005 for wrestling as well. He's a badass. He really is. In 2004, he was in the Northeast Junior Greco-Roman Regional Championship as well, and I think he won that. So He's a badass wrestler, and then, which is weird because when you watch him, he's also striking is kind of his main deal. Like, You watch him, you're like, I might see a fucking knockout tonight. Like, he throws
his
down.
grappling is incredible.
It's great too, yeah, which makes sense. But usually people who are this much into wrestling when they're younger, that's their base, and they're like, oh, fuck the hands. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's almost like a point of pride. But this guy's as effective with both, which is scary. That's why he wins all the time, because how do you fight that?
Yeah,
there's no weakness there, Yeah. Well, if I do this, fuck, then he's just going to tie me up in a fucking knot. Okay, well, if I come right at it, he'll probably knock me out with his fucking big bony elbows. Shit, now what? Like, where do I go now?
Well, when that ground and pound is just as effective as striking, it's a dangerous human being.
That's
not
dangerous.
Just in a ring, you know what I mean? That's
anywhere.
A dangerous
that's dangerous.
Man.
Jesus, that's not normal. It's just not normal. The two disciplines mixed together so effectively is not normal. He also goes to where's this universe? Iowa Central Community College. So there's that.
Very
good for him.
Oh,
it's everybody who's anybody. Yeah. But Iowa is a hotbed for college wrestling, though. That's I mean, sense. There, Iowa, Minnesota. There's a couple Midwestern states where people will sit for hours and watch young men grapple with each other.
Weird.
Very young men grapple with each other.
So weird.
It's creepy. So he did win the junior college championship there. Well, I guess his team did while they were there. He was they won the national championship, and he's an All-American out of Iowa Central Community College in 2006. So pretty good shit. Yeah. I think it's the national junior. It's a junior colleges, but still, he's as good as it gets there. Not too shabby. He starts wrestling at first. He doesn't fight MMA professionally at first. His first fights are in the quote Northeastern Grapplers Challenge.
It wasn't really that big of a deal until he's in the perfect prime.
Oh right. Yeah, he comes along when there's already money in it.
Of it, right?
He doesn't have to build it. It's all he came in and went. Great. Oh, this building's great. Oh, look at this. There's new glass. This is terrific.
Look at all the lights.
There's guys standing off to the side, wiping sweat off their faces with drywall dust all over them, and they're like, "This motherfucker over here." Now they're too old to make any money. He pops up. It's fucking awesome. He's like a Major League Baseball player in like 1995. Like, oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, sounds like you struggled for a while there.
There's money in this.
I'll take $72 million now, guaranteed. Fuck all of you. So more than Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Hank Aaron all made put together. How about that? I'll make that in 5 years. I'll hit 235. Who cares? Fuck it.
You'll forget about me in 10 years, and I'll be fat cat in the fucking Bahamas.
My name's Troy Tulowitzki. How you doing? Just remember he signed that huge deal and then hit like 208 the next year. I'm like, what happened to you? Shitbag.
He's still alive somewhere, living it up.
Oh, God damn it. On the beach. So this is in Ithaca, New York in January of 2008. And he grapples Doug Fournette. I'm not sure. N-E-T, so it could go either way.
Oh, there's not two T's?
No, one T. Yeah. That could be Fournette. It could be Fournette, and then they're like, no, we're in Iowa. It's Fournette, motherfucker. So he beats him twice in one night, both by submission. So I don't know how else you'd win a grappling match. I guess by points.
Unless
if it goes.
Make them fall
Pins?
asleep.
Are there pinfalls? I don't know how.
There's got to be ways to.
I don't really know how professional grappling works because, I mean, who the fuck does, really?
That seems boring.
I mean, I'm honestly, everybody knows this. I'm not the biggest fan of MMA. There's some exciting fights, but in general, I don't want to watch men grapple. And it's not like, oh, it's so latently whatever. I'm not even saying that. It's just boring to watch men. Oh, he's trying to get his elbow under his elbow. I'm not a wrestler, so I don't care about that. Like, if the guys are dropping fucking bombs on each other, I'll watch that because I like boxing, and I've punched people and been punched. I get that. I don't want to grapple with anybody. That's why I learned to fight when I was a kid, so I didn't have to fucking grapple with people. If you dive at me, I punch you in the face. That's how it works, and then you can't grapple me anymore. I always figured that out.
I did stop watching because of that, because it was like listening to an announcer like talk about what the one guy can do to get into some other. I don't give a fuck. Just do it.
I don't care. I don't want to. And I get that it's a technical thing and it's very skilled. I'm not taking anything away from the skill. The skill is amazing. I can't do that. I couldn't fucking back an 18-wheeler into a spot either. That takes a lot of skill, and I don't want to fucking do that either. Or watch anyone do it.
I don't want to buy tickets to see somebody ride a unicycle.
Yeah. Oh, he's letting a little air out of the brake right now. He's letting a little air, and someone's going to commentate on it. Yes, it's very skillful, but it's not on television. And I don't know why this is either sometimes, but some of the fights, very exciting. Anyway, but the grappling is like, let's take all the excitement out of it, only grappling. No chance of just a big knockout, a big exciting flurry or something. That's out.
Right.
It's all out. So
let's wait until we see somebody's hand do a butterfly, and then we'll get somebody else in there to do the same thing.
I don't get it, man. So also in 2008, he and his girlfriend, Jessie Moses, she went to college as well. She went to a 2-year school, I believe. It was 2 years, not sure, when she graduated as well. So they both went to college. Yeah. And they have a daughter in 2008. Oh. So at least he can't name it Jonathan, so that's good. No, it's Leah or Lee, either one. I don't know how you say it. L-E-A-H. Yeah, it could go either way. Yeah. Sometimes I've seen Lee like that too. Yeah.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah. You never know. Parents are dicks. They'll name their kid that and go, you're Lee. And everyone's like, why does everyone think I'm Leah? I don't know. You're fucking Lee. I'm too dumb to spell Lee right. Not that that's what happened here. This probably Leah. I don't know, but that's what happens.
I wanted to be unique. Well, fuck unique, Dad. Yeah, now there's 12 marks in my class. What the fuck?
I have to explain this shit now. Thanks.
It started with girls, though. Girls were the ones that they started doing that shit with, trying to be unique with little girls. And then it transferred into boys for a while. But poor little girls had to be like fucking Paisley in a class of 11 Michaels and 12 Marks.
Yeah. I feel like it's because parents weren't afraid their little girls would get beat up for it. That's what it was. It was like they might get made fun of. Boys, it's like, if you name them that, they're all going to beat them up, you know? Because when we were in school, that's what happened. Yeah. That's brand new that kids don't really beat each other up over a name anymore to that extent. Like when we were kids, anything was a source of bullying. Anything. Yeah. You could have an aberrant pair of sneakers and that you were fucked. You were going to get beat up for that somehow.
I'm so sorry, Brendan.
You know, it happens. I'm sure people.
Like Brendan. You mean why am I calling you Brendan? What is that? That doesn't even make sense. I know dudes named Brandon. Why can't you just be that?
Why Brendan? What's wrong with you? And then and then that's it. That is your mother too stupid to fucking call you Brandon? Does she have a speech impediment and it came out Brendan? Was she drunk? I call him Brendan. That's the type of shit you would tell a kid in the 4th grade. Yeah. At least I would. And then you'd feel bad.
And then you call him fetal alcohol for the next 4 years.
That's it. Hey, check out Googly Brain over here. You'd be making fun of him all the way into high school. That's the problem.
Nothing wrong with the kid, except for that goddamn E instead of an A.
Totally fine. Nice guy. He's a junior in high school, and people are still calling him fucking Fetal. Yeah. What's up, Fetal? Then after that, they'll just shorten it to Fetal after a while. That's Fetal. And he's like, thanks.
Water Brain, WB, and then everybody knows, so what's the difference?
Nobody
we called one
fucks him.
kid with a giant head, called him DK mode, and then we just started calling him DK. And just DK was what he called him forever.
You shorten it forever. That's it. My poor friend Shitbags, who is one of the greatest guys in the world. We called him Shitbags forever, and then just shorten it to Shits after that. So you'd have to explain, because you'd be like, yo, what's up, Shits? And people who didn't know him would be like, do you just call the guy Shits? And then you'd be like, yeah, it's Shitbags. And they'd be like, that's not any better. Like, yeah, but you don't understand. It's a thing. It's a term of endearment. Don't worry. Girls would call him Shits. You're not getting laid if a girl calls you Shits. You know what I mean? Shits. Stick it in me, Shits is never going to fucking occur. It's just never happening.
As if shit bags, it makes the story so much more clear.
But that's what you'd say it like, oh, it's shit bags. And they'd be like, okay, how's that better? You don't understand.
Kid's name was Dino, James, so we just called him DK mode. And we're like, I'm not calling this kid Dino.
No.
You got a giant head, DK mode it is.
That's it, yeah. What's up, Dino head? You'd be
poor bastard.
Poor bastard. So, man. Now, this is their first baby, but later on, he will say he has more kids than they have together, and the one he describes is a year older than this Leah. So,
John.
He must have had a baby with somebody else, like in the couple years, maybe while they were at college. I don't know if like
there was a break or something.
Something happened. Yeah, we don't fucking know what happens with people, but he had a kid in there somewhere, according to him. Anyway,
would it surprise you if the man that married the girl from high school had a break with her at some point?
At some point, especially during college. Like, hey, listen, I know, let's just take a couple weeks for ourselves. Right. You know how that goes. And
I'm an athlete. Chicks are trying to fuck me. Maybe we should just take a break for a little bit.
My cock pops in these spandex. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that shows up, there's a scorekeeper chick that we've been giving vibes back and forth, and I'm just trying to do this. So April 12th, 2008 is his first MMA fight, and it's FFP, which is Full Force Productions, which sounds just very like you're going to get plowed right in the ass with that.
Yeah.
Untamed 20, which sounds like a porn. Full Force Productions presents Untamed 20, and they show sweaty men grappling. I'd be like, that one's not for me. I don't want that one. Where's the next video?
Untamed 20, a dude that can take 20 dudes.
Full Force Productions. That sounds like large cocked men are lined up waiting to give the business here.
We could do that as a bonus, James, where we just talk. You just give me names of UFC productions.
Oh, we could talk UFC production.
Porno or names. UFC production. Yeah. Let's go.
That would be funny as shit. We could do that. Porno or MMA, whatever, some low-level MMA production. I think they want people back then, especially they wanted people to mistake them so they would buy it on pay-per-view, and they'd be like, they'd have their cock out and they're like, what the fuck is this? I mean,
I'm already here.
All right. I mean, they're grinding.
Same audience.
They're grinding. So this is in Foxborough, Massachusetts. He fights Brad Bernard, who comes into this fight with a spiffy 0-1 record, just ready to get it on. And his whole career, he'll have an 0-2 record, so this will be his last fight. John just makes him decide retirement is the best option.
Dismisses him.
He wins by TKO with punches in 1 minute and 32 seconds. So he just pummeled the shit out of this man, which is amazing. All he's done is wrestling, and he just comes in and knocks the shit out of somebody immediately.
Yeah, just skips that whole thing that he's just been training for this whole time. I've been wanting to punch somebody so fucking bad.
Every time I get someone in an arm lock, I just want to jab them behind the ear. You ever get that? You ever get that one? You just want to rabbit punch them right behind the ear until the referee stops it. You know.
Every time we start, I always think, it'd be a lot easier to submit this motherfucker if I could just punch him right in the face.
If I could punch him in the face and then choke him, I think that'd be easier.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
I think I could probably do a better job in wrestling with that.
This wrestling is stupid. I should be able to punch the fuck out of this guy.
This is ridiculous. So he's 1-0, sorry.
Yeah.
April 19th, a week later, he's fighting again for a different organization. Yeah. This is April 19th, 2008 for BCX4, which again, I mean the word X, it's even got X in there. Battle Cage Extreme, XT, Extreme 4. It's in Atlantic City. Yep. Oh, boy. Versus Carlos Eduardo.
Oh.
There you go. Carlos.
Names.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I'm like, Carlos Eduardo. That sounds made up. That sounds like some white dude in the 60s needed to, like, make up a Spanish alias, and he's like, I'm Carlos Eduardo. Yeah, Carlos Eduardo. Yeah, write that down. That's my name. Carlos Eduardo.
That's the Spanish of John Scott.
Yeah. It's very... There we go. So 1-1 he comes in, ends up having an 18-9 career. So, I think he's still going too. So that's not terrible. He just starts off a little rough, and this contributes to it being knocked out in the third round with punches from John Jones here. John's 2-0. April 25th, 2008. This is Ice Fighter. Ice is International Combat Entertainment.
Don't like that.
No, Ice Fighter. It's at the Crown Plaza in Worcester, Mass. So, yes, that's exciting stuff there. You can feel the electricity, the electricity in the air, all the Muhammad Ali fights that took place here, and obviously at the Crown Plaza in Worcester.
Or the Irish Catholic racist insults that are screaming from the crowd in fucking Worcester, Mass.
You're both queers. That's what they're yelling from the crowd in Worcester, Mass. So this is versus Anthony Pena. This is his career debut.
Oh.
He's ready to make a go of it and have a long, fruitful, successful MMA career. And doesn't really happen, though, as this is his only fight. And he is choked out with a guillotine choke at 1:15 in the first round.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, this man's career lasted 1 minute and 15 seconds. And he's like,
Jesus.
I don't like being choked. I'm going to not do that again. That was rough.
That guillotine choke it's the most barbaric, aggressive thing to watch, too.
It's crazy.
You're like, oh, my God, is he going to, it seems like you could pop somebody's head off their shoulders with that. Murderers use that tool.
Oh, all the time. We describe it on Small Town Murder every week. Well, not that particular one, but it happens all the time. Yeah, it's fun. That's very aggressive. And then the footage of Joe's son being pummeled in the nutsack is also aggressive. That's legal, too. That was he gave up from nutsack shots. The guy just hit him in the dick 30 times until he gave up. That's wild, man.
The guillotine is where you put the hand like in the forearm crick, and you just fucking pull.
It's a sleeper hold.
I don't know how anybody hasn't died from that.
Chin lock.
It's incredible.
It's like a wrestling chin lock, but real.
Right. And these guys are much more ripped than police are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the guys that are they're wrestling too also are, trained to, they get choked out 5 times a week, these guys in practice. Probably. I'm unconscious on a daily basis. Absolutely. My brain rarely has enough oxygen to function. I'm going to tell you right now. It's
to keep me and my eyes alert.
It's very, very rare that I have for a whole day enough oxygen. So he's 3-0. Next up, May 9th, 2008, USFL, which, why, you're using that name? No, United States Fight League. Fuck you. You know what you're doing.
That's stupid. Yeah.
That's used already, assholes. And, to a piss poor effect, but still, it's used. USFL.
Enough people don't know about it. You think you're going to just successfully do it and be like, we're the first?
Yeah, no. I guess kids wouldn't know at the time. So USFL War in the Woods, this is called. War in the Woods, not because it takes place deep in the woods, because it's at the Foxwoods Resort and Casino. So it's the War at the Woods, which is in the
you
woods,
motherfuckers.
which is Foxwoods, versus Ryan Verrett here. 1-3 coming in, and he'll finish his career 3-4. This fight lasts 14 seconds, so that's very fast. It's a knockout with punches for John in 14 seconds, which is start, okay, I look at you, pop, pop, you fall down, the fight's over. That's the whole game.
James, from you saying lasted 14 seconds to just 3 seconds ago, that was 14 seconds.
That's what I mean. That's a whole fight. Knocked a man out.
That's the fastest fight ever. Yeah.
Knocked him out. He didn't quit after that fight. He kept fighting. He won a couple after this, too. That's amazing. And then he quit. He was like, though, what am I going to do? 14 seconds.
14 seconds you lose. You got to figure that could be a fluke.
Maybe I just didn't see him coming. So John's 4-0. June 20th, 2008 is the WCF3, World Championship Fighting 3. This is in Wilmington, Massachusetts at the Aleppo Shriners Auditorium, where all dreams come true, obviously. Everyone knows that. Aleppo versus Parker Porter, which just makes me think of Parker Posey. So that really fucks me all up, too. Now, he weighs 262 pounds, so he's got...
More like Parker Portly.
I was going to say Parker Pudgy is what I was going with, but I like Parker Portly better. Yeah. I love it so much.
It's a big fat fuck. Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Fucking Parker with your fat ass. 262. He's 2-0 coming into the fight. 11-16 for his career. This fight, round 1, 36 seconds it lasts.
Wow.
So I don't know if he was just too heavy to go on any further and lost his breath, or if he got knocked out. But it's a knockout with a punch. It's classified as
Parker Portly. Somebody calls him that, right?
Parker Portly. Parker Portly. I would hope so. Unfortunately, someone probably called Parker Posey that at some point in her life when she was like 7 years old, and she was like, "Fuck you, you son of a bitch." You know what happened.
You can't do that. That's bullying.
Exactly. Yeah, Parker Porterhouse never got bullied, I'm sure. That's why he grew so large and learned to fight. I'm tired of people fucking with me about my name. But John can say whatever he wants about it because he knocks him out in less than a minute. 5-0 for John. Next up, he's back at Battle Cage Extreme. Battle Cage Extreme. Battle Cage Extreme 5. Yes.
Was he just in 4?
I think he was in 4, yeah. This is in Atlantic City. He fights Moises, Moyses, Moises the Savage Gabin, Gabin.
Okay.
What a crazy name. He is 2-1 coming in, 5-5 for his career, and this fight actually goes to the second round. So good for him. John knocks him out with TKO with punches in the second round. But he got to the second round, so good job. He's 6-0 at this point and ready to join a larger organization. He's gone through the minors, and what he ends up doing is he's signed to a UFC contract to replace a fighter who had to pull out a month before a fight.
Who was it?
It was Tomas Drval. What the fuck? Drval? Drwal. That just my fucking brain exploded when I saw that.
That doesn't work.
Drval, I'm gonna say, because W is he German? His first name is Tomas. So I don't know where the hell this guy is from. Yeah, as I said, Tomas Drval. I don't know what the fuck is he from, like Kazakhstan or something? I have no idea.
He doesn't have a single vowel in that last name.
An A, Drwal.
Oh, W-A-L. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
I
the
thought you said
R-W.
D-R-W-L. I was like, you can't do that.
Drool. This guy was 14-2, and he had to pull out of a fight here against, who the hell is he fighting here? We'll find out. Oh, Andre Gusmayo, who was 5-0 coming into the fight.
Oh.
So he's an up-and-comer. He's fighting kind of a veteran there, and the veteran has to pull out of the fight. So they have to find somebody, so they find this guy, who's some young buddy that nobody knows who the hell he is.
Right.
John's a giant underdog in this fight because no one knows who he is, and this guy's 5-0, and people know who he is, and they're ready to go. This is St. Pierre versus Fitch is the headlining match.
Awesome.
Here. Yeah, good match. It's at the Target Center in Minneapolis. It's on pay-per-view.
Oh, wow.
So it couldn't be any more pressure here. Their fight, though, Jones's fight, is on the unaired preliminary card.
Oh,
so this is just like an opener for the crowd.
I was just about to tell you, I probably watched this because I watched every St. Pierre. I loved that man.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have seen it, though.
Nope.
Definitely not. Maybe they would have shown a highlight later or something, but I don't know. Yeah, you never know. He's only 20 at this point still. He hasn't had his birthday yet, so he's 20.
So it's 2007?
Yeah, or 2008. So he's just known as a, good high school wrestler and a grappler and stuff like that. Nobody really knows much about him because he's a new guy. He only has a few fights. And they're saying the other guy is the up-and-comer, and he's just kind of there to get beat. All the stories beforehand. Like, they put this guy in here. That's disappointing. We wanted to see Guzmayo have a test. And now they're using this guy. So we'll have to knock this guy out, and then maybe we'll get a test next time, was basically what they were saying. Well, August 9th, 2008, UFC 87, Seek and Destroy.
Oh, God.
Vince McMahon's like, why didn't I think of that? Oh, wait, I probably did call a pay-per-view that at some point in time.
I had a wrestler called that.
Seek and Destroy.
I had a tag team named that.
You're Seek and you're Destroy. Let's go. Put these overalls on and meet me in the ring. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come when you're called. Let's go. Shirts off, overalls on, fellas.
Come when you're called, because I will.
I will. I'll be coming every time you're called. So this, like I said, Target Center, Minneapolis, so big-ass building. Here we go. This fight goes all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But John wins a unanimous decision. So
really,
he kind of dominated the fight, and he's 7-0 now. Nobody expected it. It was like, where the fuck did that come from? Yeah. How'd that happen here? There's an article afterwards that says, not much was expected of unheralded 21-year-old John Jones, which is like, wow. He's
Thank
nothing. Late replacement. He was regarded as little more than a sacrificial lamb for a highly touted prospect. Jesus Christ. Jones says, quote, the win meant a lot to me. It showed me that I can do this. A lot of people doubted me. They said, John's tough, but he hasn't fought anybody. Now they can't say that.
Yeah, but he was preaching to Gusmayo because James said the word lamb is in the Bible. So
yeah,
that's what he did.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice.
Like,
every fight we have to figure out what the biblical angle on this is. What's he playing? What's he playing? How's he going to preach?
Because there's a lamb.
Now they can't say that. That's what I believe in the Bible. It says to, smite your enemies with snarky fucking declarations of victory, right? I believe that's in the Bible, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it's turn the other cheek and then smite your enemies with snarky declarations of victory is the next phrase.
The Old Testament. They had to delete it because it was
too
much
aggressive. Yeah. This is got less Jesus in it, I think. So, yeah, he had, I guess they said that he looked kind of tentative in the first round, which makes sense. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was there. He says, quote, wasn't nervous at all. I was just a little unprepared, though. Usually before my fights, I'm in a zone. My body and mind is one unit. I'm ready to go. My reactions are quick. I've got a great sweat going. My lungs are open. But in this fight, I'm fighting against a Gracie guy, and I've got Silva hanging out in my locker room. Matt Serra's in my locker room hanging out. Renzo Gracie's walking in and out of my locker room. There's all these cameras in my face. I just couldn't really get in my groove.
Why?
So, yeah, he's it's like a nervous team in the Super Bowl. He's just like, wow, this is way more than I'm used to. Normally,
in 2008, those are the biggest names in the UFC. That's incredible.
Yeah, he's at a UFC pay-per-view, so there's just these guys are wandering around. He's normally he's at one of these battle cage extremes, and he can sit in the back and no one will fucking bother him. He can probably fall asleep back there. So he said it was a lot different. He said I wasn't as focused as I was at as if I was at a smaller show. So when I went out there, I wasn't all that nervous either. I kind of had cold feet. I didn't get the mental game together before I came out there. So it took me a while to get comfortable. The more I landed punches and the more I avoided his attacks, my creative juices got flowing. My comfort got flowing. Any juices flowing is always gross.
Tell me that's flowing juices in a man-on-man fight.
And that's when I started opening up a bit.
Oh.
Because his juices are flowing. That makes me
it's really
uncomfortable.
Dilating out there.
That's what I mean. It's very uncomfortable. He's at 6 centimeters, everybody. Watch out. It's getting fucking crazy here. He's
really
presenting.
by round 2.
He's presenting, everybody. He's at 6 centimeters. Be careful. Watch out. He said something's flowing. I don't want to deal with it. There's juices. It's disgusting. So, once he began to get his strikes involved, that's, when he started to win the fight and dominate the fight and, not let this guy really do anything. And he said it was frustrating. Quote, it was definitely frustrating to me. The first knee to the groin was legit. I definitely need him in the groin. It was a total accident because he got called for a couple of knees in the groin. Okay. He said, I'm a lot taller than most of my opponents, which makes sense. Most of them are thicker, fire-pluggy guys that are 5'7", and he's 5'9", and he's 6'4". He says, when I throw a knee, it usually lands to my opponent's face or chest. Him being a tall guy, I kind of caught him a little low. It was a total accident, which that makes sense. He took enough time and got to catch his breath. All the rest of the knees, I think, he was just acting a little bit, trying to get the crowd and the judges on his side. I have no respect for that. Okay. Yeah. He said that the other guys got an illegal knee on him too. And he said, I definitely remember that moment. I definitely felt the knee, but you're in a fight. I felt the knee. It was a legit knee, but it wasn't enough to drop me. So you fight through it. Some guys don't have that mental edge. So he's like, my balls are tougher than your balls.
You can kick me straight in them sometimes.
Yeah, that's my focus. That's my laser sharp focus is nutsack pain. Doesn't even creep into my brain. Whereas you're just a weakling who's felled by a mere knee to the nutsack, like at full force from a giant grown man. Pussy.
Who among us can be vanquished with a knee to the nuts?
Full on knee to the nutsack from a professional who knows how to throw knees to your nutsack.
A quote unquote legit knee.
Jesus, it was a legit knee. He says, I fought a guy who's 5-0, and it showed me a lot. It showed me that I can do this and that I belong in the UFC. So he also says that Quentin Rampage Jackson contacted him, his manager did, after the fight and wanted to train with him. So okay. I don't know there. He said they exchanged information. I know that
he's a bad man, James.
Yeah, he is. We know that. I know that Quentin and Congo want to fly me out to their gym to give me a different look as far as workout partners.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that. I get to work with one of the best 205-pounders in the game. I'm sure that's going to help me out a lot. So,
and that happened after his first fight?
First fight. They liked what they saw of the guy because the other guy was the contender. And this guy, nobody expected shit from him, and he won. And they liked his style, too. They're like, holy shit, this guy can fucking go. This is pretty impressive. You see him throwing these, all of his strikes, and then you're like, this dude's like a wrestling champion, too. Like, wow, he's got it. He could just put those together. So he says, I'm sure there'll be lots more cases of me being the underdog. Nope. Not really. But I definitely think I earned the respect of the UFC with the performance I put on. Anyone who watches that fight knows that when it comes to stand-up, they don't know what to expect. Well, that's true in every aspect, really. True. In fighting and in comedy. I think it's going to be hard to train for a fighter like me, especially when I get my jiu-jitsu a little bit stronger. That's what he needs, more disciplines, to get into. I definitely think I have a lot more underdog fights to come, especially with me being so young, being so new to the game. But I definitely know that even though I'm going to be the underdog, I'll be the respected underdog. So, yeah. Wow. He's only been fighting like 5 months total.
Yeah.
That's
incredible.
Absolutely crazy. He said, I'm ready to step into UFC 88 or 89. I'm ready to get in there right away. I love staying in my groove. I don't really like to take too much time off. I'm hungry to fight more, especially hopefully they throw me back in there as soon as possible.
In 2008, they were at number 88 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years. They're at like UFC 532 right now.
Oh, yeah. 5,320, I think they are right now. It's a lot.
Fighting a lot.
They're fighting a lot. Yeah, they really just, at this point, stop numbering them.
Yeah.
Give them all events that happen every year like the WWE does. Have one be like,
names
where they have WrestleMania, Rumble, Survivor Series. Do it like that. I think that's more interesting.
Dana he's doing it like podcast episodes.
Yeah.
so he knows where he's at.
And at about 100, they stopped giving him names and just put the headlining card. It'd be UFC 150 asshole versus shitwipe, and it would be, we'll see who wins. We'll see if one cleans the other,
Boxing never did that shit. You know what I mean? They never
well, they're not one organization. That's why. They're spot fights. That's all separate promoters and promotions. That's a whole different
But the world
thing.
champion, you know what I mean?
This is like UFC
belt holder.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not of like the organization that gives the belt isn't the promoter. That's the thing.
Okay.
They're different things completely. Whereas this is like WWE. It's self-contained.
Yeah.
There's no teams. There's no teams. There's no anybody. It's all under one roof. So that's why I've always said a lot of these I believe are probably fixed, because why the fuck would Dana White not fix it? He owns it all.
How could you not?
He owns all the guys. You know what I mean? Like, why would you let it happen naturally? That's not
that much money hanging out.
Yeah. Well, that's how wrestling started, as we always talk about. It was legit, and guys used to grapple for 3.5 fucking hours at a carnival. And then they said, what if we did a couple of things that were more entertaining, and it ended in a tie-in the first time? People might pay more to see it again, right? Fuck yeah, that's how it happened. It was, we'll still beat each other up, but we know what the ending's going to be. And I think that's kind of what happens here. Not all the time, but I think there's a fight here and there where he's like, okay, this is the one I need. I honestly believe that. So you never know. Here's a comment from somebody on an MMA message board from August 16th, 2008.
Oh, God.
I love meatheads that are, not saying all people who like MMA are meatheads at all, but there are some serious, like that's where the meatheads go, which must be really annoying for like people who aren't meatheads who are fans. You're going to be like, oh, for Christ's sake, this fucking moron.
Guys that don't hit their wives.
Yeah, it's the same thing if you were a wrestling fan back in the day. There's a lot of you're like, oh, these fucking hillbillies, I'm looking at it in a different light. I'm smarter than them, you think. This guy says, I think people are putting way too much, capital letters, into this fighter. I saw the fight and it wasn't spectacular. I hate people who fake getting hit, but Gusmayo was repeatedly getting hit in the nuggets. So,
in the
nuggets. I think that's what actually lost him the fight, sad to say. The first low blow, after Jones knew he low blowed him, he followed up with another almost low blow knee, then 4 strikes to the head. Almost, and 4 strikes to the head sounds like a good move, and then punching a man 4 times in the head. He said,
"Low blowed him." Is it
low blow? Low blue. That man. I don't think you want to say low blue him.
I don't think he wanted to say blue.
That was from his knees there. Yeah. He said,
delete.
Shit. If you counted those as clean hits, that's the only reason Jones would have won the first round. His attacks people thought were exciting. It was like watching a 10-year-old on a sugar rush. He kept throwing these spinning back elbows, hoping to cut open Gusmayo. And every time he threw it, his accuracy was way off. Always missing, or by the time he connected, he'd hit his shoulder into the man's body. I actually think Gusmayo was penalized and lost the fight, but because he kept complaining legitimately about getting low blowed. Jones may have caught a glancing low blow, which I doubt, but that was only after delivering 2 of his own right before. This man hates him. Hates him.
Yeah, and smells like the buckle in the mall.
The buckle, you think?
Yeah, it smells like the buckle or possibly a Tilly's or one of those like off brands that still sells No Fear.
See, I was thinking he smelled like the back, like behind the counter in a fucking the pretzel place. What the hell's it called? Like a Wetzel's pretzel. Like really stinks. Like there's like sourdough and yeast on him. You know what I mean? He gets out in the sun and it kind of activates, and you're just like,
yeah.
What
but
is
they
that?
cover that, James, with a shitload of Abercrombie. That's
Well,
what
yeah.
those dudes wear. It's fucking
There you go.
hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
The softest dudes that go to this shit that talk about, I'll fuck you up, bro. You smell fruity, sir. Calm down.
Yeah, you smell very fruity. By the way, I don't know why you put that on, because there's no girls here, you fucking dipshit.
Get the jewels off of your shirt.
Jesus Christ. Especially in 2009.
Yeah, at
the
this
whole
time,
crowd
it was crazy.
bejeweled. If you put a big spotlight across the crowd, it would just sparkle.
And they did.
Oh, yeah, looking like Ric Flair's
Those lights
robe,
would
the whole
move,
place.
And the crowd would just glisten.
Glistening with affliction. It was fucking terrible. So, January 2009, he is cited for hitting another vehicle while attempting to make a turn. And apparently he was unsafely passing, because he's cited for unsafe passing. That's all I can imagine here. That's what he was doing.
It's pretty funny.
I mean, I don't know. He's in Ithaca, New York when that happens. So he's, in the home area and does that. January 31st, 2009. That's not a real big crime, though. That's just, he fucked
it's not
up.
a caper.
Not a caper. He is in UFC 94, which now they've dropped the names. Maybe Seek and Destroy was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back. And they're like, we can't keep calling shit this anymore, right? Seek and Destroy, we waited like 88 fucking events to call something that. That was one of our first ideas. It's on the chalkboard still in the main office. So
we've used up all the Steven Seagal movie titles, so let's just drop them.
They really did. They had Out for Justice, I believe, was one of them, and
Under Siege was a big one.
Under Siege was a big one there.
Above the Law was huge.
Yeah, no, fuck. I'm thinking of the one. What is that fucking movie he did?
Or he's on the train.
Fuck.
I think that's Above the Law. I don't remember.
No, he did a movie where he was like trying to be funny, and I can't remember what it was.
No, what?
Yeah, it was like an action movie where he was like trying to be funny too, and it was so fucking bad that it wasn't. I don't even think it was in the theaters. I think it was one of those like direct to. I don't know where I saw it, but it was bad.
But you're damn right. There was some cooking in it too.
Oh, absolutely.
He's always got to cook and punch somebody in the face.
And he can't move his neck. He looks at everybody like this. Watch. He goes, "Let me tell you something right now." And he looks like over the back of his shoulder, and you're like, "Can you turn? Is that all right?"
You're not an owl, man. Just turn.
Is your neck messed up, bro? So this is St. Pierre versus Penn. Oh. He fights Stephen the American Psycho Bonner. The man calls himself the American Psycho, which I feel like could fit most of these guys. Probably that'll work.
Have we not talked about him before? It feels familiar.
I don't know if we've talked about the American Psycho before. I mean, we must have, I guess, if we've talked about MMA. But anyway, he's 12-4 coming into the fight, 15-9 for his career. This fight goes all 3 rounds again.
Oh,
but he wins in a unanimous decision. So can't.
You know who else won that night, James? George St. Pierre beat BJ Penn.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I guess so. You probably watched that since you said you watched all the fights, which you probably saw this fight then.
All right.
There you go. You've seen this fight. 8-0 for John. July 11th, 2009, here, 6 months later, about UFC 100.
All right.
This is Brock Lesnar is involved in this one.
Okay.
Lesnar versus Mir 2.
Yeah, Frank Mir.
Yeah, Mir 2. This is at Mandalay Bay here. That's a big one. He fights Jake O'Brien.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but I don't know. I assume there's a shamrock somewhere on him. I guarantee somewhere.
Probably.
A tattoo or on his shorts or somewhere is a fucking shamrock. I guarantee it. He's 11-2 coming into this fight, 15-4 for his career. So no joke, this guy. This goes into the second round, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. John beats him with a submission. Guillotine chokes him. So it's a real guy. Not bad. Yeah. Now he's 9-0. He's starting to look like no shit contender here.
I think Mir won that fight, too.
You think so? Versus Lesnar?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. I think he beat Brock Lesnar. Frank Mir is a bloody son of a bitch. He just bleeds for no reason.
One of those guys. A lot of guys are bleeders. It's just scar tissue from previous ones.
Yeah. It's like J.J. Watt with his perpetually broken nose. Frank Mir just shows up bloody.
You ever seen Abdullah the Butcher's head?
Yeah,
you could just touch his head and blood will pour. That's how it was. He didn't even have to. He didn't even have to blade when he was going because it was so much scar tissue. He just touch it and it would He knew where to hit it, and it would bleed.
Yeah, like a 92-year-old lady who bleeds on the shower curtain.
Yeah, always. Just, well, I must have wiped my arm on a towel, and it really scraped me up good there. You're like, see how thin is your skin,
Fabric
lady?
softener in this load.
Good God. Are you just dissolving? You're not even dying. You're just dissolving. One day I'm going to come in and you're just going to be like veins and arteries, and you're going to fall down. Well, fuck, man.
Melting. Just bleeding.
Yeah, you're just dissolving. Your skin's dissolving like paper, like rice paper.
Your forearm bleeds.
Rice paper skin. What's going on here? Jesus. Also, they have another daughter around this time named he names it after his sister who passed away, Carmen. So that's nice. That's very nice tribute, I think, there. December 5th, 2009, at the Palms Casino. It is UFC The Ultimate Fight Finale 10.
Okay.
I guess it's a TV show.
The show, yeah.
Yeah. So he fights Matt the Hammer Hamill here, and he is 7-2 coming in, 13-8 for his career. This fight, round 1, 4 minutes and 14 seconds, John is disqualified.
Oh?
For illegal elbows.
To the nuts?
I don't know where the fuck they were, but enough where they must have warned him about it first. You don't just disqualify someone. He probably had warnings, and then, there's several steps before you DQ somebody.
Still throwing him.
This is his only loss of his career, and it's not even a loss. He was kicking the shit out of the guy. He just happened to throw some illegal elbows. So, I mean, he wasn't losing, it's crazy. 9-1 now he is, and that pissed him off good.
I'm sure.
Might think here. March 21st, 2010, UFC Live 1. A new series, I guess, here. Vera versus Jones. This is at the First Bank Center in Broomfield, Colorado. Is that a Denver suburb?
I believe it is, but yes, it has to be. Yeah.
Where the fuck else in Colorado? What other metropolitan area in Colorado would have a center, really? There's no other
Colorado
population
Springs
center.
has some stuff down there, but it's, I imagine
15,000
Denver.
Yeah, not a 15,000 seat arena.
No. Oh, maybe, because they've got the Olympic Training Center down there in Colorado Springs.
That makes sense.
There's some big arenas there, but like the fucking Broadmoor, but it's all maybe at the Broadmoor, but this isn't the Broadmoor.
There's only one like major metropolitan area in Colorado, right?
More or less, yeah.
Because I mean,
Colorado
Aspen's
Springs is almost
close to it. Yeah, they're all pretty close to each other because most of them is untraversable mountains. So I mean, you're not going to have a fucking 7,000 foot elevation and a peak somewhere, just some random town. Watch out! Don't fall.
Metropolis off the side of a cliff,
off the side of a mountain. There's not a lot of flat area there, so. Kind of tough here. He fights Brandon the Truth Vera, which we found out what happened to Carl the Truth Williams when Mike Tyson fought him. So the name isn't always true. He's 11-4 coming in. This fight lasts 3 minutes and 19 seconds as John TKOs him with elbows and punches.
Wow.
Must have rained blows upon him, which is always nice to watch. 10-1 for John. So there we go. Next up is what Dana White says is a good challenge for him. He says that if he beats this guy, he's telling Jones he's going to have a big step up in competition. He's going to really be in the main, in the main scene now. He fights Vladimir Matyashenko. Is that right? Matyashenko.
Right. So this is like 2011,
2010, August 1st, 2010.
I'm about to get into comedy pretty heavy right here.
Yeah, and stop going.
I went
watching
the
these.
fuck away from this shit. Yeah.
So his nickname, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Vladimir the Janitor Matyashenko.
Wow.
That's Vladimir the Garbage Man Matyashenko.
Yeah.
Vladimir the Starbucks barista Matyashenko. Vladimir the HVAC guy Matyashenko. Like
Vladimir the concrete finisher coming through.
That's it. All fine careers. Careers, but not your bragging nickname usually, probably. Maybe it's just he's from
I guess it's because he cleans up.
I guess maybe he's just from another country and thought that was like a badass thing. Like, oh, you clean up like janitor, yes. And they're going to be very afraid. And people are like, you're a janitor? Like, for real? Do you like work at like a community college or something? Like, what are you doing? Right. Is that why you had access to a gym at night when you were doing this, and now you're a fighter? Is that your story? This guy's 27-8 for his career, so
great fighter.
No joke here. Yeah. This fight only lasts 1:52 seconds, though. This is the big test. And John TKOs him with elbows with the quickness.
Wow.
He's got some strong elbows. Legal elbows, yeah. He's 11-1 right now. Mm-hmm. And following the match, Dana White said, Vladimir Matyashenko is a guy who I have a lot of respect for, and I didn't think it was going to happen that easy. Jones is the real deal, and he just catapulted himself tonight into the top 8 in the world. Wow. Damn. Tonight solidified it. He's got to keep his head together, stay focused, and keep doing all the right things in training. He's smart, good-looking, and badass. He's going to make a lot of money. This kid is going to do very well.
Yeah,
is what he says here.
He literally is Vince McMahon of UFC.
He idolizes Vince
so
McMahon.
Turned on.
He can say he doesn't. I don't know if he does or not, but he can say he doesn't, but he models himself 1,000%. Like, he's a Vince McMahon clone. It's ridiculous at this point.
He just said this guy's got 3 qualities that matter nothing in this ring. Smart, good-looking, and what?
And badass. I guess badass matters, but still, he's going to make a lot of money. That's what they would say about a wrestler. Smart, good-looking, badass. He's going to make a lot of money. That's what Vince, you're going to make a lot of money, pal. That's what he would tell somebody. He's told people that. February 5th, 2011, UFC 126, Silva versus Belfort. This is. He fights Ryan Darth Bader.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Bader's great, though.
He's a good fighter. Yeah, that's just a really annoying name.
Yeah.
And which is good, because I guess if you want to punch somebody, to hear that announced would really make you want to punch him, wouldn't it? You'd be like, I am going to fucking punch that guy so hard when he gets out here. He has no idea. That fucking name. He's not even going to know why, but I'm going to punch him like he fucking punched my mother. He's getting beat down.
What was Bader's record eventually?
It was
overall.
Well, I don't know. It was 12-0 coming into this fight, though. Okay. So damn fine. And
in the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
But this fight goes to the second round, 4 minutes and 20 seconds into that. Submission win for John here with a guillotine choke, handing Darth his first loss at 12-1 here. Now, March 19th, 2011, this is a crazy fucking day, okay, all together, and it's all good for him, which is the craziest part of it. He's fighting that night for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship.
What day is this?
This is, March 19th, 2011.
Okay, all right.
Fighting for the championship, UFC Light Heavyweight Championship versus Mauricio Shogun Rua, who's 27-12 for his career now. So he's got a big fucking night. This is his big chance. On the way to the fight during the day, he went to meditate first, okay? He was going to meditate to do his thing because he figured out, remember he said he couldn't get his head together because people are coming in and out, cameras? He figured out he's got to do that before he gets to the arena now, which is smart. Okay, I can't get in my flow back there because people are going to be up in my shit, so got to do it. So on the way to meditate before the fights, calm him down for the fight, nice and good, nice and easy. He's en route to Great Falls Historic Park in Paterson, New Jersey, where he planned to meditate several hours ahead of his fight, and then he was going to go to the fight and fight. So he's with Mike Winklejohn, who's one of his coaches, and Greg Jackson, another one of his coaches. Okay. So the driver pulls up to drop them off. They have somebody driving them, a fucking Uber or cab. I guess it would be a cab back then. I don't know, a hired car, whatever the fuck. I guess UFC would probably bring the fighter there, maybe hire a car for him.
Also, meditating several hours, that's called a nap, sir.
I'm going to take a nap in the park.
Yeah.
Meditating several hours or hobo fantasy camp. What do you say? Which one? If he starts eating beans right out of the can, I'd say we know the answer to that. Does he have a bindle? That's the main question. You're not going to survive out there without a bindle. You're just not. You're not going to get shit done.
They're going to come out of those pockets inside out.
Yeah. So he's with his coach and this Greg Jackson guy. And as they're starting to get ready to pull off to the side here, Jones sees an elderly couple screaming for help.
Oh?
Okay. The woman yells to Winklejohn that a man had smashed her car window and had just run off with her GPS. Remember when GPSs were like stuck to your window?
Yeah,
like a Garmin or something, a TomTom, one of those.
Magellan, yeah.
So they took it. They were expensive, a couple $100 back then.
Yeah, they were.
Jones and the two coaches fucking chased the guy. This guy thought, easy mark, here's an elderly couple. Oh, no, here's the future light heavyweight champion of the world and two of the guys who help him get that way.
Right.
Shit, this is the worst. Went from best to worst. They'd rather cops were there probably than this. This isn't going to work out well.
A UFC fighter is chasing me through the woods.
Chased him down, tackled him, and held him down till the cops arrived. I don't know if he put him in a guillotine choke or what the fuck he did to him.
Yeah, he used something.
Now you do the elbows to the groin and the knees. Right. This is the time. Knees
Throw
to the groin.
all the illegal elbows you want.
Right, get them all out.
The day of his fight, he had a fight.
This is he was this was to go to relax, to meditate. That he was pulling off. It's fucking wild, man. Yeah. What a day. He said, so while we were at the park today, a crackhead smashed this old lady's car window and took off running with her GPS just as we were pulling up. Right away, Coach Winklejohn goes after this guy. Without hesitation, Coach Jackson went after him. I was shocked and stood there for a second. Then I threw my phone down and went with my coaches. Before you know it, we were sprinting up a steep hill chasing after him. He said, quote, I turned the jets on. We caught the guy. We got the lady's GPS back. It feels so good to help others. Gives me power and energy.
Incredible.
That's insane. I hope as much as meditating does, because you didn't meditate. You had to do a police report. Right. Yeah. The driver even snapped a picture of Jones and his trainers fucking, holding the guy down and shit. Like, awesome. Here he is. We got him.
It's a good Facebook picture.
That's a great one. That's your profile right there. Yeah. Or at least your banner picture on like Twitter or something. You got to have that. And here's me getting an old lady's fucking GPS back. This is some heroic shit.
It's awesome.
It's the most heroic thing he ever did or does in his entire life from now on. So,
and he let the guy have a head start. He said, I stood there for a minute and then I dropped my shit and went.
And he's like, all right, I guess I'll go choke him. Jesus Christ. Why not? 3 guys who can kick your ass all chasing you down is rough. That's a lot. Can't even pick one of them to fight. So UFC 128 is the event here for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. 27-12 is Shogun Rua coming into this fight. This fight goes into the 3rd round where John ends up TKOing, or getting a TKO against Rua here with punches and knees.
Awesome.
So he's 13-1, and he is the champion of the light heavyweight MMA world. Unbelievable. Not only that, he's a fucking hero. In one day, he's a front page Boy Scout hero saving an old lady's property from her, from a crackhead, and then goes and wins a title. I don't think there's any better time to say it. Grace. This is grace.
Yeah.
This is grace as fuck right here, man. Wow. I mean,
that is
it really
a solid day. And it took him
Great
only
day.
2 years to become champion?
Yeah, barely any. I think it was
start
like
to
13,
champion.
14. I think it was like 7 fights. And he goes from no one knows who I am to I'm the champion. That's unbelievable. So good for him. September 24th, 2011, it's UFC 135. This time he's fighting Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Really?
Train with a little here. 38-14 this guy is for his career, so he has fought a lot. This fight goes all the way to the 4th round where John wins a submission win with a rear naked choke on the big man there. So
also Rampage is like I don't mean like bad as in like great fight. James, he's a terrible person.
I've heard bad things about him.
He's a very bad man.
I think he's on our list, I believe. So
I hope so.
I think that's a possibility.
I can't wait to hear about it.
We'll find out. Well, you never know. So November 2011, he is cited essentially for drifting without a license. He drifting in his car.
Like fucking Fast and the Furious
Like
drifting?
Fast and Furious drifting on the road, by the way, while he has no driver's license.
What are you doing, John?
If you're driving with a suspended license, 10 and 2, stop at the stop signs, go the speed limit, 5 over, maybe, that's it. Stay out of everybody's trouble. He's like, I don't want to draw attention to myself, but let me fucking drift through the fucking lane and no one will notice that.
He brakes slide down Main Street.
Out of your fucking mind? Yeah, what is wrong with you? In Albuquerque, of all places.
Are you shitting me?
By the way, not only in Albuquerque, he did it into a parking lot, Fast and Furious style. Wow. What kind of parking lot, Jimmy? I'll give you one guess.
A Wendy's.
Nope, a strip club. That's how you enter the strip club, by drifting into the fucking parking lot. I'm the champ! Holding the belt out the window, like, what the fuck are you doing?
That is incredible.
No license. Not a license to speak of here. Suspended as fuck.
Yeah.
So that's pretty goddamn dumb. His car is towed as well because they show up to give him a ticket, and he's like, I have no license. And they're like, well, stupid, you can't drive home then, so off with your car, dummy. So that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, honestly. Well, you don't draw attention. You can't,
and that's screaming.
You literally can't draw more attention to yourself than drifting into a fucking strip club parking lot. That's the most attention. Into a building with lights and neon and a fucking 12-foot high woman on it and like a crazy name like, Tits Are Us or something and flashing. No one will notice this.
some incendiary just grab your attention. Neon tits on the side of the building, and he's drifting through the parking lot. Smoke everywhere, mind you. Tires smoke everywhere when they spin like that.
Loud as fuck.
Yes.
And maybe the place was called Wendy's. You might have been right. I'm not sure.
I hope it was.
I hope it was. Could you? I mean, if you were named Wendy and you wanted to have a strip club, could you just call it Wendy's?
I wonder if you can.
Probably can. I don't think you can call anywhere that sells food probably Wendy's. Maybe if you can't sell food, you definitely can't use a red-haired, pigtailed fucking logo. Probably, I assume,
with like just more propped up titties.
That's got it. Yeah, like
blue and white shirt.
Wendy at 22. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's allowed. Probably that can't be it. That would be something right there. There's probably some sort of parody porn for that too.
Maybe, yeah. But is it trademarked where you can't do that?
Who the fuck knows? Probably, yeah. It's a fucking Wendy's. It's a giant thing. They must be trademarked. Otherwise, there'd be a million burger places. I'm Wendy's too. Sure, why not?
We got the beef too. Come on,
I got the beef. Bring it in here. My big old titties. Come on in, gentlemen. Yeah, that's me on the sign. So he does that. December 10th, 2011. Again, this isn't like anything huge. You're not going to get suspended from UFC for driving like an idiot. He didn't kill anybody. So
no.
Not like he ran over a fucking pregnant lady and her dog or something. It's pretty simple, right?
But that's just because the pregnant lady and the dog weren't there. I mean,
if they
he's
were,
not doing
he
anything to not.
He would have run them down, but they just happened to not be in a strip club. I think he was taking his chances of it's a strip club parking lot, middle of the night. Probably won't be any pregnant ladies there with their dogs, but I'll try.
No kids. Yeah.
Probably no kids. You never know.
Not yet.
Nah,
wait till I get there.
Mine will be in the car. So wait here, kids.
Yeah.
December 10th, 2011, UFC 140, Lyoto the Dragon Machida he's fighting here.
Okay.
26-11 his career. He wins in the second round, John does, by technical submission with a guillotine choke. I don't know what a technical... I think that's when they pass out and the ref has to call it. I think that's what a technical... Yes, that's when, like, you didn't give up on your own because you just went unconscious.
We got to revive him.
Maybe. Either that or they literally killed him and they're like, that's a technical submission, right?
Technically he's submitted.
Technically, he can't go on. So we'll call that a submission now. He's 15-1 after that fight, so just rocking and rolling, doing his thing. April 21st, 2012, UFC 145 versus Rashad Sugar with an A Evans. He's 17.
Rashad Evans is insane, James.
He's good, 17-1 coming into this fight.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. 19-8 for his career. He goes the distance with John, and John wins a unanimous decision again. So not even close.
Brutal.
16-1 for John here. Now, Dana White in the post-fight press conference, he says that John Jones' next opponent would be Dan Henderson, and it's going to be at UFC 151, but then Henderson ended up pulling out of it because he was injured or something. So then, in place of Henderson, they put in Chael Sonnen in there, and they're like, what about him? And Jones says, no, not doing that.
He's not fighting Chael.
Nope, he said that he told him with there's only 3 days of training left. He goes, so I'm not going to prepare for a whole new guy in 3 days. That's
good move. Yeah.
Not doing it. Smart. He said then they ended up canceling UFC 151 because that was the main event.
Really?
So they cancel it. And, they said that this dumb part is they said that Henderson was actually injured 3 weeks prior to the announcement, but they kept it under wraps, hoping that he would come back. In other words, letting the pay-per-view buys build up is what they did. Why?
What the fuck?
In my opinion, anyway, that's what he did. That's a very Vince McMahon thing to do. Actually, Vince wasn't even like that. Vince, if Hulk Hogan couldn't show up at a fucking card, Vince would offer everybody their money back. That's how he operated. I hope they did the same shit here, but I don't know. So he had to withdraw, though, after that, and then he declines the fight. He does. This is in the 19-year history of the UFC. It's the first card to ever be canceled.
Is that right?
First one. Dana White said on record, quote, "This is one of the most selfish, disgusting decisions that doesn't just affect you. This is affecting 16 other lives. Their families, kids are going back to school. The list goes on, all the things, the money that was spent for the fighters to train, and the list goes on and on. Like I said, I don't think this is going to make John Jones popular with the fans, sponsors, cable distributors, television networks, or other fighters." Well, you could still pay those fighters, Dana. You make a lot of money, motherfucker. Right. You're buying islands, you fucking Lex Luthor fucking comic book villain asshole. Are you kidding me? Fuck. Oh, I hate this motherfucker
and that's
so much.
John's fault that Dan pulled out? You know what I mean?
He pulled out. John was like, I'm not fucking taking some fight at the last minute against some guy who knows what he's doing. That's ridiculous. Why would I fucking risk that? And he's like, you're being selfish. Go out there and be fucking choked by another man. What's the difference? It's for other people. Well, if you're so concerned about all those people, jingle jangle some of them fucking coins in your pocket around and fucking pass them out, you cheap son of a bitch. When you hear how little money John Jones has made in his career off UFC, you're going to fucking literally old school get out loose leaf paper and write Dana White a fucking handwritten letter calling him a cheap twat. I swear to God, you're going to lick it and put a little envelope, a little stamp on it, and send it.
Everybody knows who. I mean, if you're in the orbit of UFC or sports at all, you know who John Bones Jones is. You do.
Abso-fucking-lutely, you do. He lost once by disqualification. He's their longest reigning champion. He's their most fight consecutive shit. He's every fucking record they have is his. So,
top 5 name in UFC for sure.
He's got a fight in the Hall of Fame and everything.
Really?
They put fights in the Hall of Fame, I guess, in the UFC.
Jesus.
So his fight, one of his fights coming up is coming here. Now, May 19th, 2012. This is slightly more selfish. This is just around 5 a.m., which is always a good sign when we check in on these guys in the middle of the night in the wee hours.
He didn't wake up early to train, James?
Well, he might have been, but if he did, he was driving himself shit-faced to that particular location, so it's an odd way to train. Usually guys don't...
Drink a lot of NyQuil last night.
Yeah, he's still a little woohoo.
Still groggy.
He crashes his Bentley into a pole,
Oh, my.
This is the second crashed Bentley into a fucking stationary object we've had in 2 months. This is, come on, be more careful with your Bentley.
It's an expensive vehicle.
It's very expensive. And police end up arresting him on the scene for a DUI. Okay. He totaled the Bentley, by the way. So
wow,
fucked that thing up. He's taken into custody, bailed out a few hours later by, who do you think, Jimmy?
Dana White?
Camille.
She has the bail
She's got
money
the
too?
tickets. She's got the ticket money. See, she needs money
Ticket
for
to
the
free
bail.
Monday.
Ticket to ticket out of the big house. That's what it is. He's got need money for bail. You go to Camille's and get the bail money.
Get out of jail free tickets. The tickets to the show.
Oh, I love it. So he's taken into custody here. His mom gets him out of there. It was 5:02 a.m. Struck a utility pole at the intersection of Grant Boulevard and Helen Street in the city of Binghamton. People are going to notice a fucking Bentley slamming into a pole in the middle of Binghamton at 5 in the morning.
He goes home to really just start fires, man.
Yeah. As people jog by. It's May.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, he's still drunk. Fuck, man. He was scheduled for an appearance at Binghamton Court for an arraignment anyway, and the accident now is, they're adding that to it. Some site here said, I can confirm that John Jones was arrested early this morning on suspicion of DUI. While the facts of the situation are still being gathered and situated, First Round Management fully supports John, and we're asking for fans and media to respect the privacy of John and his family during this time. So there's that. August 2012, he gets sponsored by Nike.
Wow.
He becomes the first MMA fighter to be sponsored by Nike on an international scale. So they're marketing him all over the world. This is like, he's a big star. That's a big star.
That right there might be why everybody knows who he is. You get
Absolutely.
Nike on your side, they'll figure out how to get your name in people's ears.
Totally. Well, they're not on his side very long, though. That's the problem. But then other people get on his side. That's the shit. So September 22nd, 2012, UFC 152, the Phenom, Vitor Belfort, he's fighting here. 26-14 for his career, and John submits him with a key lock in the 4th round. So there's that. 17-1. Finally, now Jones is chosen to coach opposite Chael Sonnen on season 17 of The Ultimate Fighter. And a bout between the coaches is going to take place at the end of it or whatever, too. So, when they get to the fight, April 22nd, 2013, at UFC 159, Sonnen is 31-17 for his career. They say that Jones looked very kind of uninterested in the fight.
Yeah.
And all this type of shit. They said that he didn't believe that Sonnen was a fit contender for him at this point, and he thought it was a joke. And in an interview, they were, doing an interview trying to pump it up, one of these pre-fights. And I guess Sonnen was doing all this talking, and Jones, quote, gave him the silent treatment and refused to make eye contact. Just didn't give a shit. And I saw the thing, too. That's exactly how I would describe it. He just, okay, I'm not participating. It's so fucking weird. I just not doing it. So April 22nd, that happened. He wins by TKO with elbows and punches in the first round at 4:33, John does. So he was right. There really wasn't much of a fight. 18-1 for John. And he dislocated his big toe, though, on his left foot during the fight.
Ouch.
Which hurts. That's going to hurt to walk anywhere. So with this win, Jones ties Tito Ortiz for having the most consecutive title defenses in the light heavyweight category in UFC history. Not too bad. And they have another daughter named Olivia. So, not
James,
bad.
when he left the ring, there was only one set of footprints because one foot was broken.
Because his coaches were carrying him.
Yes.
That meant his coach was carrying him. So, I don't think they were talking about Winklejohn or whatever his name is when they were. September of 2013, he signs another big giant fucking. He's like UFC Michael Jordan. First Nike, now Gatorade.
Is that
he signs
right?
a big deal with Gatorade. Yeah. The Gatorade logo will be prominently displayed on his fight shorts from now on because He's the Gatorade guy. Jones said, it's great that a company like Gatorade sees the value that their products bring to MMA athletes. They're one of the biggest brands in sports worldwide, and I'm honored to have their support moving forward. It does not get any better than Gatorade when it comes to fueling your body during training and competition. He's right in there, man.
Told me to say.
Wow, that's fucking wild. That's something. Then the Gatorade guy says Gatorade's one of the most recognized brands in the world. John has earned this relationship through hard work, determination, and pure dominance inside the octagon. So, Gatorade. Do you know the Gatorade story, by the way?
Yes. It's crazy.
It's like in detail of it.
Yeah.
Like it was disgusting at first. They didn't know what to do with it. It's the weirdest fucking story.
And then
literally,
the football
Florida
team?
Gators. Yeah. The freshman team at first, because the coach said, you're not giving my guys that shit. Give it to the freshmen. And the freshman team went like undefeated because in the fourth quarter, they all said they were fresh and everybody else was half dead in the Florida heat. So
they're drinking sugar water.
Yeah. And they got some weird chemical shit in them that tasted like, oh man, that's funny as shit.
And it was yellow, right? It was the yellow stuff?
Lemon was the first one. The first one they said, well, the guys hated it. They drank it because it worked, but they were like, man, it tastes like shit. They would like drink it, like, oh God. So they were like, let's add some lemon flavor to it, and they did, and that made it like palatable, so you could at least get it down. Not good, but you could get it down.
And then it went to the orange because of the Gators.
The Gators,
right?
Yeah, and it's a popular fucking. It's Florida oranges. That's that's what it is.
Makes sense too.
Yeah, they have plenty of it. So September 21st, 2013, UFC 165 versus Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson.
I'm way out of UFC by now because I have no idea who the fuck that is.
I've never heard of him either. 15-1 coming in, 18-7 for his career. Mm-hmm. It goes the distance, and it's a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
And this was a badass fight, this one. This was really a war. Jones said that this was the toughest fight of his career. And afterwards, they both went to the hospital, like Mr. T and Rocky 3. But I could see them next to each other in the wheelchairs going in there because they're both fucked up. They both had a lot of cuts and swelling and all sorts of shit like that, but they just got checked over. They ended up, they both earned the Friday Night Bonus Award, or Fight of the Night Bonus Award, which I guess you get paid. They called it, the Fight of the Year. It was called the greatest light heavyweight title fight of all time. Oh. It was huge shit. And then 2020, March 8th, 2020 to be exact. And we'll talk about what happens later on that night. But on that day, that fight will be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame's Fight Wing.
Wow.
So there's that. Yeah, that's when it was announced. It'll happen July 9th, 2020. So April 2014, people keep complaining that he pokes them in the eye all the time. And he said, they said that Dana White said, we've got to stop that stuff. The openings of the hands and putting the hands in the face are something bad, but it happens with guys who have reach. They do that a lot.
Okay.
Because, you're pushing a guy away. And he said, quote, it's not just taller fighters. Jones has that range and he can do it, but lots of guys do it because that's how you block punches. So you keep your hands open and you slap punches down. These guys are rushing in and you're doing whatever, and the guy gets poked in the eyes. That's fair. It's like when you're going to tackle somebody and then someone else tackles him and now his helmet's right into yours when you were aiming at his ribcage, stuff. So, he said, Jones said, I realize the criticism that I get from it. It's not on purpose. If you watch my fights, it's me extending my arm in a reactionary way. I do put a hand on people's foreheads to maintain distance, which is funny.
Like they're a toddler.
Yeah, but stay back, and his feet are moving and he's swinging like in a cartoon. He said, but I am purposely but to say I'm purposely poking people in the eye, it's just inaccurate.
Okay.
It's just inaccurate. April 26, 2014, UFC 172. This fight, by the way, was scheduled and canceled like 3 different times with this guy. It just kept, one guy couldn't do it, then the other guy couldn't do it. It was ridiculous. So he fights Glover, I guess it's Teixeira. That's how it's spelled, like Mark Teixeira, the baseball player. So we'll go with that. 33-7 for his career. And this one goes all the way to the distance again for another unanimous decision, unanimous for
He is fighting
John.
So many rounds.
He's fighting a ton of rounds, and his style is, he's
reckless.
getting hit a lot. Yeah, it's tough. So August 4th, 2014, he and Daniel Cormier, is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
They briefly scuffled during they had the pre-fight match. Those pre-fight fucking weigh-ins and these press conferences.
Right.
Where the guys are supposed to kind of act like they're going at each other, but they're not actually supposed to break anything.
Yeah.
One of those
Oftentimes
here.
Kiss each other or whatever, just to fuck around. They do it to make a show of the thing.
Yeah, totally. They want attention. It's been worked for 50 years since Muhammad Ali used to talk a bunch of shit in front of Joe Frazier.
Genuinely doesn't like this guy?
Well, he pressed his forehead on Cormier there on his forehead. Cormier shoved him in the throat, and then Jones threw a punch.
Yeah.
And that's all a little bit too much for this shit. They ended up being restrained and all this type of shit. UFC's chief legal officer said there's going to be ramifications of this.
Yeah,
and
that's illegal.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission requested a video copy so they could figure out if they want to, talk some shit. Yeah. And Jones is eventually fined $50,000 and ordered to undergo 40 hours of community service by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, not even the law.
The cops, yeah.
No, during the disciplinary hearing, he says that he lost a six-figure endorsement deal with Nike for this. Now, he does lose the deal, but we don't know if this is why. I only know he loses the deal because in December 2014, he announces he's a Reebok guy now. Reebok sponsors him now. So he said, quote,
him and Shaq.
Yep, he said, we'll be working closely with Reebok to help develop and launch the brand's new range of UFC apparel, as well as a new collection of footwear and apparel specifically created for the more than 35 million people around the world who participate in combat training to stay fit. Mm-hmm. So this is deals with both John Jones and Ronda Rousey. So they got the guy and the girl as the top two. They're going to push the fuck out of them. So January 3rd, 2015, finally the Cormier fight, UFC 182. Cormier's 22-3 coming in.
Yeah.
Damn tough.
Damn good fighter, yeah.
This one goes the distance again. Another distance. That's rough. And John wins again unanimously. So it's 21-1 is his record. Later on, we find out, and the world finds out, that John failed a test for cocaine a month before the fight.
Oh,
and they just didn't tell anybody. They were just like, well, we'll announce it later after the fight. When people pay for it and shit later. You know how it goes. Yeah, it was announced that he failed the drug test prior to UFC 182, apparently. And then he tested positive for benzoylagonine. I don't even know what that is. It's the metabolite of cocaine. It's just what you test positive for cocaine.
Benzos, yeah.
And it's not banned out of competition by the World Anti-Doping Agency, so they couldn't stop the fight because it's not like doping. So he passed a second test, which means the cocaine metabolite was out of his system before the fight because coke's out of your system in like 3 days, so that's why it's very quick, 2 days. So Jones went into rehab for one night when it came out in public.
I'm good now.
It's just a little bit in there, so I only need a little bit of rehab. I'm good now. It's fine.
I think a sleepover ought to do it.
That's all. And he's fined $25,000 for violating the UFC's athlete code of conduct.
We'll order a pizza, stay up late, pop some popcorn in the kitchen, like on the stove. We'll do it the fun way.
Yeah, we'll do it with the lid on it and it's popping everywhere. Oh, get that. No, scoop it up. Hold the ball. Move it around. Get all that stuff. It's popping out everywhere.
Last person to fall
you put
asleep.
Too much.
Toothpaste on their face, and then I'll wake up and no more Coke.
That's it. No more Coke. Just my hand and a thing of warm water. That's all it's going to be. He says... Sleepover. He does an interview and says, I'm not a cocaine addict by any means, or even not even a frequent user. I just made a really dumb decision and got caught with my pants down in the whole situation.
First time I ever tried it, I got caught in a drug test? Is that what he's trying to sell to us?
Pretty much what he said.
Who do you think you are, some pastor selling bullshit?
Yeah, that's just the first time I ever put my foot under a bathroom stall and signaled another man to put his penis through the hole so I could suck it. It was just an experiment. I brought my own saw and made the hole, but you don't understand. I just wanted to see what it was like. Yeah.
Just the one time.
One time. One glory hole experience in the bathroom of the Cleveland airport. That's all I was looking for. It's not a bad thing. Just curiosity. Just curiosity, out there. deep in the bowels of the Sacramento airport. It's perfect.
I've bought a lot of dumb shit, James.
Not that, though.
That ain't it.
That ain't the one. Nope. So, also prior to this fight, Jones's testosterone his ratio of testosterone to epitestosterone was considered to be very, very low.
Yeah.
Now, the guy who ran Balco, Victor Conti, we know about that, he said that, quote, "These levels are highly suspicious for John Jones, in my opinion. This is the reason that sophisticated anti-doping officials do target testing. So based on what we see here, my opinion is John Jones should be on a very short leash and should be random tested until they sort out why he has these anomalies."
Okay.
He's doing something with his shit is what they're saying here. I guess his drug test samples were out there, and we don't fucking know what's going on with that. So, and who the hell knows after that what the fuck, if it was, I don't know what Dana White's going to do with this is what I'm getting at. I feel like it's all his thing. So if he wants him to
conjecture, yeah, that too. You know what I mean?
He's going to fight. Yeah. And it's also conjecture too. So I don't know. He might be fine. He might have weird fucking metabolism or of testosterone. I have no clue how that works. I'm not a doctor here. So, Jones's mother, though, told a reporter that her son stayed one day at a treatment facility and attends to, after that he had to leave because his brother was in the AFC Championship game with the Patriots. So he had to watch that. I couldn't couldn't do that. Gustafson said, the guy he fought last time.
Putz.
Yeah, Gustafson, yes. Putz. He says,
Gustafson?
from a dirty old, fucking grumpy old man. Dirty old men. That's a different movie. That's UFC 168. Dirty old men. That's what that is. That's a UFC title. Jimmie, porn or UFC fucking title? Dirty old men. Which one? Porn or UFC?
That's absolutely it's a porn for sure, and it's a very young man dressed up like Walter Matthau.
He said that Jones did good in that fight. He should get credit for that. That cocaine is nothing that could have changed the fight. Okay. Now, as Bill Cosby would say. Now. April 27th, 2015. Okay. We'll just start out with witnesses at the scene.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Said John Jones ran a red light in his rented Buick SUV. Who rents a Buick SUV, number one? I guess. I don't know if he was renting it for his grandmother and just taking it out for a ride or what. It was rented here. He strikes another car, okay, driven by a woman. Okay. The woman's pregnant, by the way.
Oh, John.
Hits her, gets out of his vehicle, and runs away on foot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bad.
Obvious. Yeah.
That looks real bad. What looks even worse is he then came running back to the scene, and you go, oh, he must feel bad. You know, he must have came to his senses and went, Jesus Christ, I could have hurt this person. I better check if they're okay. Nope, just reached in his car, grabbed some money, and ran again. He came back for cash and then fucking took off again. Just fled the scene.
He didn't buy the insurance.
No shit. He's like, fucking, fuck, I told him. Shit, they told me. They said the shit on my card covers it, but I'm not sure it covers it. I'm not sure it does. They couldn't find him for 24 hours before he finally turns himself in.
Yeah.
So they didn't know who was driving the car. They just saw a guy run away, come back, grab money, and run away again.
Yeah.
So in the car, there's documents with his name on it, references to the UFC, promotional materials, and also a weed pipe with weed in it, too.
Oh, no.
That's not good there for him. He also, he just took the fuck off. This poor woman, Vanessa Sonnenberg, pregnant woman with a broken arm from the collision.
Oh, dear.
He left an injured pregnant woman trapped in her car with a smashed-in door. What a fucking asshole.
Back for a fistful of cash and ran away.
At least he didn't punch her, too.
Yeah,
at least he didn't come over and be like, pow, you didn't see me, bitch, and then run away. That would have been worse.
Try to knock her out.
Yeah, try. Maybe she won't remember it. Repeatedly hitting her. She's not. Why are you hitting me over and over? It just hurts. Being pummeled. Oh, yeah.
Striking isn't his strong suit. He likes to go the distance and tap him out.
Yeah, well, he could have choked her. I don't know. So, I mean, that would have been effective, I'm sure. Not that he should have, but he apologized to the woman in court afterwards and his supporters, and he said that he's embarrassed. You should be embarrassed.
Indeed, yeah.
There's nothing. This is the most embarrassing thing you could do. What a piece of shit.
If you're not humbled by that, sir.
God damn it.
You are a monster.
Not going to check on that pregnant lady I just plowed into.
Right.
No time. Got to grab my money. He says in court, quote, "I'm here to accept full responsibility for my actions. I'm hoping that you guys give me a chance to redeem myself."
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. He's arrested for leaving the scene of an accident involving death or serious injury. And there you go, on a pregnant woman. Yeah. Now, this is the perfect time. She fully recovered, by the way. Baby wasn't injured. No permanent damage, but a bad broken arm. I think his dad should say this best. Quote, "I think in a way, John is preaching." I believe that's the quote that we need right at that point. He feels his son's ministering the word of God wherever he goes. I thought he was running back to minister the word of God. Turns out he was just getting a few $100 to hit the strip club later. So it's different.
Minister so hard she broke her arm.
Fucking ministered her arm broken. That's some ministering. He is suspended from UFC and stripped of his belt at this point because you can't put a guy who just injured a pregnant woman and ran away out there as your... You know, even Vince McMahon has limits. He fired the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan when they got caught together with cocaine on the New Jersey Turnpike, you know?
I do assure you there was a meeting about it, and Dana weighed the pros and cons of doing this.
He's like, how pregnant was she?
Yeah.
I'm sure that I bet $1 million the question, not literally, but I bet $1 million that the question, how pregnant was she, was brought up at some point, and that like it fucking matters is the
He asked how far along, for sure. Absolutely.
How far along we talking?
Yeah. Has she had the ultrasound yet, or is it just like a pee stick? What are we talking?
What's her belly button doing right now? Is it still an innie, or is it what's happening?
Is that little brown stripe there yet? Is that
what are we doing? Man, so yeah, he's suspended, and Cormier went and replaced him and went on to defeat Anthony Johnson to take the vacant light heavyweight title. Dana White is on hand in Albuquerque to support him in court, though. The UFC released a statement saying that Jones will not be reinstated by the promotion until an investigation is done.
Yeah,
we're going to look into it. Quote, "The UFC organization is aware that John Jones has reached a plea agreement with authorities in Albuquerque, New Mexico this morning, stemming from charges associated with a motor vehicle accident earlier this year. As a result, UFC, through Las Vegas law firm Campbell and Williams, will thoroughly review the agreement before discussing Jones's possible reinstatement to return to competition."
Yeah.
In other words,
for you making me come to Albuquerque.
We're seriously fucking upset about this, is what that means. This is disgusting, and we're super pissed off about it. This is the only way we can say that, because we don't want to say, like, oh, you shouldn't hit pregnant women with your car, because obviously that kind of just goes up against our whole brand. Our brand is, you know what? You plow into them, sometimes they're pregnant. You know what I mean? That's the brand we're pushing. And at this point, I feel like we're just not hitting it there. John doesn't know what to do with himself now. If 1 minute he's a star, he's the man, everybody loves him, he's doing great, and the next minute he's getting suspended, and people are calling him a scumbag. It's one thing to say you poked me in the eye or kicked me in the nuts, but...
Right.
You're like, there's video of you fleeing a scene of a pregnant woman, coming back, grabbing money, and then fleeing again. That is bonkers. That couldn't look worse.
No.
At least if he just ran away, he could say, I don't know, I hit my head and I fucking didn't know what was going on, and I ran away. It was just a weird reaction I had. But nobody's like, but then I decided I need money too. Like, that's not part of it if you're unconscious. Either way, he's got to start over. He just has to wipe his slate clean and be a new person, and that's going to start right first and foremost with his decor, Jimmy. He's got to change it all up in his house. New furniture, new window treatments, everything that he can think of. There's only one man who can give him that, and that's Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. And he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Everyone liked you. You're such a nice guy. You're coming in. I'm the new guy, underdog. And then you're winning fights and choking these other men, and they're sweaty, and you're just grinding all over them, and you're hitting them in the groin. You're groin-shotting them. then you start, okay, you're drifting into that's kind of cool, actually. Yeah. Like, I might see that as Dexter and be like, oh, that guy's, like, he's pretty cool. I don't know. Like, he's kind of dangerous. I might talk to him, like, I might think that. And then next thing you know, you're plowing into a pregnant woman in a Buick. Oh, God. No. I'm sorry. You, sir. You don't even have, like, what are you, just carrying around just cash? Do you not have a bank account? You, sir, are white trash. I'm sorry. This is the definition of white trash. Drifting into strip clubs, plowing into pregnant women, only carrying cash. You're white trash, sir. I'm sorry. I'm done with you. I'm done. No, he's not coming. No. I told him, no. Vince is staying in the car. He said, I'm not interested. That's how he says, I'm not interested in him. Whatever the fuck he said.
Okay.
No, he says it. He's like, it's just trash. He said, no, I'm not doing it. So, you know what? You can deal with this yourself, this mess, because you're a mess and the place is a mess and you just got to feng shui together and poof, he's gone in a cloud of feather boas and carpet swats. He's gone. Everything's gone.
Carpet swatches.
They're gone. Wallpaper fucking patches or whatever the fuck. So he's gone. April the 29th, 2015, Reebok has said, you know what? We're not going to roll with John Jones anymore.
Oh, they've had enough.
We've had enough, too. He said, he's stripped of his title and, the whole pregnant lady thing. And so
you see Shaq's shoes? We're more embarrassed of you.
Yeah, it's really much worse. And those things are hideous if you've seen them. They weigh 14 pounds each. No one's wearing those.
They started making them again, James.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
The Shaqs?
Yeah, they're back out in stores. Those big, ugly moon boots with the fucking weird stripes.
Those are bulky. Yeah. I remember picking one of those up, and not even like a Shaq size one, just one like a Foot Locker back in the day, and it's like a size 9.5, and it was like, whoa, this thing is weighty.
It's a lot of boot.
Like, I can't play basketball in
those
this.
Those are basketball boots.
Yeah, you can't play basketball in that if you're a normal human being. You have to be 7'2", 330 pounds to be able to get lift off with those fucking things on your feet.
They got new color schemes for them. I took my kid to go get shoes the other day, and when we were in the store, I was like, those are the... And I picked it up. It says Shaq on the back, and I was like, be honest, how many of these are you selling? And he goes, not many at all.
Not many at all. Look at them. They're hideous. You know where they're being sold? Online to just people who buy them for nostalgia but aren't going to wear them. You know what I mean?
No kids are buying those.
No kids are buying those.
I go, Landon, what about these? And he goes, oh, God, no. $69.99. No, absolutely not.
Damn. Should have got them the D Brown pumps, Jimmy.
They aren't even selling them, James, for the same price as they were brand new when we were kids.
Yeah.
They're like $100 when we were
fucking
kids.
$110 or something. I know. I couldn't afford them even if I wanted them, so I know they're
$69. They can't give them away.
Out of my range. Can't give them away. Well, we tried to give them away, and still, it's not working out well. Just nobody wants them. I don't know why. Just nobody wants them.
It's an awful shoe. Bad shoe.
I like Reebok's whole their public statement here. Quote, in light of recent events, just you know what they are.
Yeah.
We've made the decision to terminate our contract with John Jones, effective immediately.
We've chosen a new path. We're going to put Shaq's old shoes back out.
Yeah. He's like, but look how quickly I got away from the car, back to it, and watch me pivot when I grab this. That's Reebok traction right there. That's like if Michael Jordan or something and a Jordan is like making a cut and, fucking shitting on somebody with the crossover. This is kind of the MMA equivalent of that. So you knew it. Kind of knew what you were getting into, didn't you? So he goes to court. He is going to plead guilty of a felony charge of leaving the scene of an accident, which he's lucky he wasn't charged injuring people as well. Granted a conditional discharge here, and he is given, you, sir, may fuck off 18 months of supervised probation. Oh my, not that.
His brother's a world champion.
Nope, he's supervised. He's got to do 72 appearances doing work with charity and speaking with children. Jeez. Once the probation's over, he'll be resentenced per the terms of his conditional discharge, and he has not been convicted of a felony and won't be if he fulfills the terms of his probation. Doesn't fuck up anymore. Yeah, they'll wash it, kind of expunge it, and it'll be a misdemeanor or whatever. He said after the reading here, to give a statement. Quote, with regards to today's decision made by the court, I'm very happy to be able to put this incident behind me. My actions have caused pain and inconvenience in the lives of others, and for that I'm truly sorry and I accept full responsibility. I've been working hard during this time away from my sport to grow and mature as a man and to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. I've learned a great deal from this situation, and I'm determined to emerge a better person because of it. I apologize to those who were affected by my actions in this incident, and I'm hopeful that I will be given the opportunity to redeem myself in the eyes of the public, my family, and friends, as well as my many supporters. I am not sure what the future holds for me, but I plan to continue to do the work needed to be productive and successful in every aspect of my life.
All said, amen.
And he crossed out his lawyer's name and wrote his.
Yeah.
Crossed out his publicist's name.
I can't believe he didn't say in the eyes of all these people and the Lord or some shit. He didn't even invoke religion at all.
He's never preaching. His father said he's never out. I'm hitting pregnant women. He's not even saying I talked to Jesus and we worked it out. He's just like, listen, I fucked up. My bad. Peace out.
Better. Yeah.
And his dad's like, that's preaching. He's ministering to the flock right now. He's letting them know. Let them know about the Lord, son. That's right. You do it.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely. Now, Dana White says the UFC organization is aware that John Jones reached a plea agreement with the authorities in Albuquerque, New Mexico this morning, stemming from charges associated with a motor vehicle accident earlier this year. That's one way to put it, Dana. As a result, UFC through, and that's when they say they suspend him there, January 16th, or January of 2016. So a couple months later, he is fucking cited for driving without a license, registration, or insurance. None of the above.
Trifecta.
Just a fucking guy in a car. No fucking documents, nothing. Just driving around.
A guy with a full tank of gas. That's it.
That's it. A guy with 2 thumbs and a full tank of gas. Let's get it moving.
No license, registration, or insurance.
I mean, at least he wasn't drifting, but still, imagine you pull him over and you're like, license? Nope.
Nope.
All right, well, at least give me the registration.
Strike 2.
Fresh out. Please tell me at least this thing's insured. Well, that's a funny story.
You're out of here.
That is not fucking good. He fails to report this to his probation officer.
Uh-huh.
And they don't violate him.
What?
They don't violate him because it's not like a... I guess it's still in a car, though.
Yeah.
It's fucking around in a car. He's not taking driving seriously as a responsibility. I'm sorry. You need something.
Fucking around in cars.
He's fucking around in cars, man. He's ordered to complete 3 days of community service for failing to report it to his probation officer, and he's later warned by the judge in traffic court not to receive any more citations. God damn it. So, March 24th, 2016. Now. He's pulled over by Albuquerque Department Officer Jason Brown.
Why does he spend so much time in Albuquerque?
It's where his fight training is. Okay. He's training there. So it's where his trainers are based. So during this, I guess he was at a light revving his engine up in a drag racing type fashion. So he ended up, cop comes in and says, hey, you're not don't be drag racing. Jones said he wasn't drag racing, called the cop on camera, quote, a fucking liar and a fucking pig, which, if you're trying to get out of a ticket, that's probably not the approach to go for, I would say. Just as advice from me.
Yeah.
Listen, you fucking liar. Oh, well, sir, let me give you a break on this one. Like, that's probably, even if you think the guy's a fucking pig and a liar.
Yeah.
Maybe don't tell it to his face.
There was a particular Texas officer who I absolutely 100%
he was a fucking liar. He was an absolute liar. It's like, I watch you, pig liar. And he was a fucking, and he was even looked kind of like a pig too.
Yeah.
Like in the face. Like not like a cop pig, like
small
a big pig.
Ears, yeah.
Yeah, piggy. He was a little piggish. He was a little bit of a
small ears, big fat
swiney.
belly.
But more of a liar than anything because the fucking cruise control was on. We were definitely not going 20 miles faster than our cruise control was set. We were just cruising, man.
Little bit of a piggy, mostly liar.
Mostly, you fucking liar. So, apparently they're going back and forth about it. He says that he absolutely was not drag racing.
Okay.
Not at all. He says it's bullshit. He merely revved his engine while stopped for a red light in response to some people in the next lane who recognized him. So it was like his truck horn, like he gave him one of those, except it was a vroom, vroom. That's his claim.
What a weird choice.
I've never done that to like one of my friends, like, hey, dude, what's up? Yeah, boom, boom. I usually wave. It works well. I usually just wave.
Here I am.
They see it.
Vroom,
yeah.
vroom.
Hey, just stick your arm out, wave at him. Hey, look at that. John Jones waved at us. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Then he said,
just rev a Buick at us?
Yeah, what's that? A Buick fucking, I don't even know what those things are. This little weird SUVs. Is it an Enclave?
I think it's an Enclave.
Yeah, one of those. Is that a Buick Century he's got over there he's revving up? He told a reporter, quote, I freaked out. I completely lost it and said a whole bunch of terrible things to the guy, called him all kinds of names and stuff like that, which I really regret. He sounds like fucking Pac-Man. I swear to God, like the Pac-Man character. I was just merely on the side of the road. I was revving my engine due to being recognized by some fellow citizens. Meanwhile, an officer of the law comes up with an accusation that's not even legally justified. So, of course, I called him a liar. Anyway,
and I regret it.
And I regret. There, you got two characters today. Fuck off, everybody. So he said, and I really regret it. He says, quote, then he goes into a thing of the guy's full shit again. He says, quote, I think it was a DUI pop. He wanted to find a drunk driver, and once he realized I was sober, he needed something to justify pulling me over. So, yeah, he said, right now, everything in my life is just so public. I'm really walking on eggshells, so I figured I'd talk about it now. I thought I'd get ahead of it and let everybody know what's going on before it comes out. Okay. So, yeah, he receives a 90-day deferred sentence for, by the way, no license, no registration, not a speck of insurance. He just picks up cars and puts keys in and drives them without doing any paperwork. You have to call somebody. You have to get a thing mailed to you. And there's a lot of paperwork involved with cars that you really have to do. It's important.
It seems like
cars.
A pain in the ass. I'm not going to do it.
I just won't. I'll just drive it. It's a car. It drives. I'm a driver. Fuck it. It's got keys.
It's got gas.
Look, it's got tires on it and everything. So he wants to fight in Rochester now. He's talking about that. That's what he wants his next fight. He says it would be bigger than fighting in Madison Square Garden. He's talking to Hannah Storm about this shit.
Yeah.
Luckily, she's not pregnant and he's not driving, so it's safe. He says the Garden is a fight mecca, meaning Madison Square Garden. Muhammad Ali fought there. Mike Tyson. It's everybody's dream to fight in the Garden. I'd love to do an event there to give back to New York State fans by fighting live. And more importantly than fighting at the Garden for me is to fight in Rochester, New York. I was born in Rochester, and I've done nothing there to give back, and it's something I have a degree of guilt for.
Yeah.
Okay. Rochester, the inner city where I was born and raised, it could use a positive role model and influence. That's something I'm really striving to be, and there's a lot of work I could do in Rochester, so hopefully I can fight in an arena there. Okay, so there's that. He wants to fight in Rochester. He's given nothing back, and he feels guilty.
Yeah.
So then he says he was a drug addict. That's his new thing now.
John Bones he's a drug addict?
He said, I'm unstoppable inside the octagon, but away from it, I was under the control of sweet Mary Jane.
Oh.
Drug addict. He says, quote, go ahead.
Addiction?
He said, quote, I was a drug addict. He said, one thing people don't realize is that you can be a drug addict even if you're a stoner. If you're waking up every day and smoking before you eat, smoking before you train, which is weird, smoke before you sleep, smoking before you watch a movie, smoking before your study session, you're an addict. It doesn't have to be a hard drug to be an addict. If you're spending lots of money on it and all your friends are people who do it as well, and you don't really associate with people who are completely sober, then yeah, you're an addict. You're also fun. I think that's why people have these issues with marijuana, because they really don't consider it a drug. I'll say it once and I said it again. If you can't control that shit, that's because you're weak, because it's controllable. It's not heroin, and it's not. I'm saying that out of experience. I'm not. People are going to say, oh no, but I don't care. Your fault. I've done it for fucking ever. Never led to anything else. Hasn't fucked up my life at all. Actually, it enhances everything. I do better at the shows if I'm stoned. So can go days without it. Don't have to think about it. It's fine. Guess
it's not
what?
Your favorite thing, going days without it, but
No.
you don't get sick because of it.
No, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm like, that sucks. Yeah, I don't care, though. It's not like it's a fucking, like, I need my stuff. Like, it's fine. I'm annoyed that with people, but that's another story. I'm annoyed with them anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's very similar with coffee with me. If I don't have coffee in the morning, I don't want the early phone calls. I don't want to talk. Please don't talk to me.
And it's not your fault or anybody's fault. Some people can't handle certain things. They just can't. Some people can't handle booze. Some people can't handle this. Maybe he can't handle weed. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. But, that's why you're an adult and don't fucking smoke it if you can't handle it. You have so much discipline. So, I mean, the physical discipline of this man is insane. And it's like, don't smoke it if you don't want it. You can.
And what year is this?
2016.
I mean, it's mad legal in so many places.
Yeah. He's fucking, but the funny thing is he's been caught for coke and he's been caught for being drunk and drifting into shit and stuff, but this weed's never been the real problem. Yeah. He said, it became who I enjoyed being. I thought I was preserving myself from all the negatives and evil of the world. I would pop out of my cave for fights, and he'd win. So what the fuck are you talking about? It was literally what I would do in between fights. I was just sitting enjoying life and thinking I was a hippie. I didn't feel like I was hurting anyone else. I didn't feel I was being a bad person. Because you weren't.
Yeah.
You said I was sitting in my house smoking weed. You're hurting nobody.
Unless he's trying to explain to us right now that he hit a car with a pregnant woman inside because he was too stoned.
He's saying he wouldn't go out.
Yeah.
So we should fucking put a helmet on this guy with weed pumping in constantly, because when he's not stoned, he's apparently driving around with no license, registration, or insurance, plowing into pregnant women and then running the fuck away. That's not a stoner move. It's just not. So April 23rd, 2016, back in the UFC. All is forgiven. Everything's fine. Ovens St. Preux, I guess, Preux, OSP they call him. He's 25-16 his career, and it's a unanimous decision win for Mr. Jones here, 22-1. Now, July of 2016, that year, a urine sample from him tested positive for two banned substances, clomiphene, which is an anti-estrogen substance, and letrozole, an aromatase inhibitor, prior to his scheduled championship fight here. The violation was from an A sample collection, with subsequent testing of the B sample confirming it. So, both drugs are on the World Anti-Doping Substances banned substances list, described as hormone and metabolic modulators, and not allowed to be used in or out of competition. He had to withdraw from an event because of this, and he's replaced by Anderson Silva. And he maintained his innocence, claiming he was the victim of a contaminated product.
Take it easy, Jeremy.
That he believed to be Cialis. What? Which later independently obtained, tested, and found it not to be contaminated by the United States, U.S. So no, you had what you weren't supposed to have in your piss. Period. That's how it is, John.
So
just say it.
Somebody sprinkled boner pills in his piss.
Yeah, no, he was taking boner pills, and he didn't realize something in the boner pills triggers the banned substances. And then they did research and went, nothing in the boner pill would do that. This shit does it, and you had it.
What did Jeremy Mayfield say he took that had meth in it, evidently? They say, like, antihistamine or some shit?
Yeah.
Taking
like
allergy pills. There's clearly meth in it.
Some Benadryl. It was just meth. I didn't realize it. So he's issued a 1-year suspension by the USADA following an arbitration hearing, blah, blah, blah. August 11, 2016, he's in court to plead guilty to unlawful use of modification of exhaust systems in his car and improper display of registration plate in Albuquerque here.
Oh, he got registration.
He got to register, the plate anyway.
Yeah.
The other charges, unlawful drag racing, unlawful exhibition driving, and failure to maintain a traffic lane were thrown out. Sounds like he wasn't at a light when that happened. You can maintain a lane stopping. It'd be impossible not to. He is given a fuck off 90-day deferred sentence. He must complete aggressive driving school and complete 60 hours of community service and pay a fine of $143. So look at him. He must not violate any laws in that time. And he does a bunch of community service, and he needs approval from his probation officer every time he wants to drive. He has to call and ask for permission.
Can I have the keys, Dad?
Please. So there was supposed to be a rematch with Cormier here, but he's removed from the bout after the doping thing. So he ends up being suspended for a year, and then 2 days later, they say that he's stripped of his title again, and he's the first fighter in UFC history to be stripped of a title twice.
Wow.
So he's another first for him. Also suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for a year, so they're not going to license him in Nevada. So he goes to grappling instead.
Oh, he's going to just go do grapple competitions?
He does a couple grappling. He's in Phoenix on October 15th, 2016, and he fights Rich O'Toole. Again, I assure you there's a shamrock somewhere, and Dan Daubert, and he beats them both with guillotine chokes that night at Naga Phoenix, Naga Phoenix.
I don't even know.
I have no...
There's no place where they did it?
No. It doesn't say, it just says Phoenix. It's probably some shithole. It's grappling. They're not going to draw 30,000 people for grappling.
It's probably not even Phoenix, Arizona. It's probably Phoenix.
No, it's Arizona.
New Mexico.
It's, what was it? Is it Ohio have a Phoenix?
I think so.
Have a Phoenix.
There's a couple
Everybody has a
this
Phoenix.
country, yeah.
So he ends up also fighting. Remember that Dan Henderson guy that he was supposed to fight?
Yeah, right.
Well, he fights him finally
About
in
time.
a grappling match.
Are you sure it's Dan Henderson?
I'm not positive. He's a linker, so probably.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I put that he's a linker, so I think that's probably the same guy. It's in Portland, Oregon at Submission Underground 2, which actually takes place under the ground.
Yeah.
They just dig a hole for these guys to fight in. And he beats Dan with a submission with an arm triangle choke. So there you go. He's 5-0 in grappling so far.
He's great.
June 2017, Camille dies, which is very sad.
No.
Yeah, she's only like 56 or something. She's young.
She's got to be young.
To be dead, yeah. July 29, 2017, well, having all those athletes just took it out of her. She probably had no insides left. It was probably the problem. All fell out after the 280-pounder came out. So July 29, 2017, UFC 214. He's back again fighting Daniel Cormier. This fight earned him Performance of the Night with a knockout, with a head kick and a bunch of punches.
Awesome.
But eventually, that is stripped away from him, and it's ruled a no contest.
Oh?
After he tests positive for turinabol, a turinabol metabolite. He praised Cormier as a model champion while recognizing that, he's better, obviously. And then he challenged Brock Lesnar to a fight. It's a lot bigger than him. But he tested positive for it's an anabolic steroid. He's placed on a provisional suspension since then. They confirmed the A and the B sample both contained it. California State Athletic Commission overturned the result of the fight to a no contest, and Dana White made the decision to strip him of the light heavyweight championship again and return it to Daniel Cormier.
A third time.
A third time. It's pretty fucking amazing. This is his biggest payout in UFC ever, by the way. $1,830,000.
Almost 2 million.
Do you know what they fucking make on a pay-per-view with 800,000 buys?
So much, yeah.
That is
disgusting.
That is
the headline event.
Yeah, Mike Tyson used to make $40 million for a fucking boxing pay-per-view. This is crazy, and Don King would rip him off still. This is nuts. He might as well throw change at them. August of 2017. He is flagged again for a potential doping violation. Jesus Christ, it gets the same thing again, the same turinabol shit or whatever. So now there's another suspension. It's a fucking mess. They said that this case is another strong reminder that athletes need to be extremely cautious about the products and supplements they use to ensure they are free of prohibited substances. No shit.
They are.
It was a mistake.
They're very aware of it, and
yeah,
that's not what's causing the problem.
No, he didn't go in and fucking take Flintstones vitamins and be like, "Oh, there's turinabol in it." Shit, I didn't realize that the Barneys had turinabol in it. That's super weird.
I didn't know
you can only eat the pebbles. That's it.
I didn't know that taurine in a Red Bull metabolizes as turinabol. I had no idea.
No clue. Live and learn, I guess, right? October 2018, he's eligible to fight again, scheduled to go at UFC 232. However, more inconsistencies came up with another drug test, and he was not granted a license to compete in Nevada. So it was moved to Los Angeles. Don't cancel the fight, just move it, because Nevada won't license you here. So he had to take both these doping agencies' tests at the same time during all this. And they found an ultra trace amount of turinabol, which they attributed to a long-term pulsing effect there. And they did not take disciplinary action against him here. And they said there's no evidence that he had re-administered a banned substance, and that they don't think from this amount any performance-enhancing benefits were gained. So they're going to let him fight again. Okay. December 29, 2018, UFC 232, Alexander Gustafsson again, putts KO by punches in the third round. So he beats this guy twice. 23-1 now. Next up, March 2nd, 2019, UFC 235, Anthony Lionheart Smith. He is 36-16 for his career. This fight goes the distance, unanimous decision win, 24-1. April of 2019, Jesus Christ. He's at a strip club, shockingly. Everything with him revolves around strip clubs.
When
he's
is this?
at April 2019.
Okay, all right.
He's at TD's Gold Club in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Titty Dancers Gold Club in Albuquerque. He is charged with battery after a cocktail waitress accuses him of slapping her in the pussy. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
Slapping her in the pussy. He does go for shots to the groin. We know that. Yeah. That's he's been penalized before. Pulling her down into his lap and kissing her neck. She also told... No, you can do none of those things.
No.
Literally 0 for 3, John.
I used to go to a lot of strip clubs. That
Never.
will get you thrown out in a minute.
That's an 0 for 3, like no license, no registration, or no insurance. That's the same 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Can't do any of those things.
Strike 3.
She also said that he tried to put her in a chokehold, that he did put her in a chokehold, and picked her up off the ground. Oh. When she asked him to stop, he continued touching her until he decided to leave.
Gross.
Just going to touch you for a while. He initially pleads not guilty to this battery charge. Mm-hmm. His spokesperson says it's a false accusation and that the woman's claims are a malicious lie.
Wow.
Malicious lie. John also says, don't be so quick to believe everything you need and read on the internet. And he says he's not in any trouble and he's fine. I'm really the victim here is the thing. Because, I was in a strip club and then this young lady completely interrupted my night by putting her genitalia in my hand. I'm like, listen, young lady.
Smacked it, said, get back with that.
Get out of here. Smack. And the force of it knocked her onto my lap where I thought she needed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And I was trying to issue it to her and there was a problem. I
hit her in the neck.
You should feel bad for me. Me, not her. But not nearly as bad as you should feel. For John Jones, MD.
Oh, God.
Board certified in physical medicine and rehabilitation, Baseline Road in Mesa, as a matter of fact. Good for him. John Jones Real Estate from here. Everybody wins or no deal is his motto on his website.
Right, choke you out.
I'll choke you out. I'll smash into your pregnant wife. This is in Ohio. You can find him. He's not the guy, so give him your business.
Give him some help.
John Jones Jr. Oh, boy. MD. And he's also an assistant professor. He does patient care. He's board certified, American Board of Surgery in 1992. He's got a fellowship in transplant surgery, immunology fellowship also. Did his residency in general surgery, clinical skills and interests, general surgery, complex hernia, breast, large and small bowel. All of this sounds pornographic.
I'll fix all of you.
I'll fix your shit. I'll tell you what. So, John Jones, general manager at Atlantic Concrete Company in Harrington, Delaware. John Jones, lead at a provision in the heart of Bristol, offering bespoke educational packages for young people in Bristol, United Kingdom. And finally, John Jones, general manager operations at Bedford Group in Mile End South. I think that's Australia there. He did go to the University of Michigan, though.
Okay.
So there's that. July 6, 2019, UFC 239. Thiago Santos is the opponent. 22-9 for his career. I almost said 19. This goes the distance. Unanimous decision win. So good for him. 25-1 for John. July 21st, 2019. The incident at the strip club becomes public. That wasn't public yet. No. They kept that under wraps till after the pay-per-view. Isn't it so weird how all this shit is known by the UFC, but they don't release it till after they've sold something with them? unbelievable, man. I mean,
And
dude,
this kind of thing where you're attacking women.
why do you win silver-haired middle-aged white man of the year every year, Dana? I wonder why. This guy's got a shelf full of scummies, and it's always, and we do the MMA the least of any of the sports besides play hockey, and he wins it anyway. It's amazing. He's a strong contender. July 21st, that's then. October 2019, he takes a plea deal from the thing that never happened that he's completely innocent of. He pleads no contest to disorderly conduct and receives a 90-day deferred sentence. Again, a lot of deferred going on.
Because otherwise, that's sexual battery, and you're in trouble for a long time.
What did you say? Disorderly? Yeah, I mean, that's not that bad.
Good.
He must avoid, in 90 days, he must avoid arrest or violating the law, consume no alcohol or drugs, be under supervised probation, and not return to the scene, which is a strip club near where he lives, and pay court fees. I don't think he's doing all of those. That's a lot of stuff to do. There's paperwork.
He can't even get all three things done on a car, and he's going to do this for his life?
That's what I'm saying. February 8th, 2020, UFC 247, so no problem. Back in there 2 months later after that. Dominic the Devastator Reyes he's facing. He's 12-0 coming in, Dominic. He's now 12-3, though. This didn't quite work out. This is a unanimous decision win here, making him 26-1. That's his last MMA fight. His total recorded MMA fight earnings, Jimmy, he's headlined how many pay-per-views? Champ forever. Give me a guess on what you think.
If it's shy of $3 million, I'm going to
Oh, no. It's going to be more than that.
12
but
million?
No, think about it in terms of a boxer, what it would be.
Oh, God, it'd be, how many pay-per-views? 12?
More than that. Jesus Christ.
He should be north of $90 million.
Yeah, $14,300,000 he made for all
disgusting.
That's way less than he brought in, I feel like. Put it that way. Like, they're definitely getting the deal there.
He made $14 million for everybody that's ever heard of the UFC to know his name.
Absolutely. To make them famous, to make people draw people to it.
Staggering.
Fucking national commercials. No one else was on fucking Nike commercials besides Ronda Rousey. And she went and fucking wrestled and said, I don't need to get my ass kicked for this when I can make the same money doing that. Why the fuck would I do that? And it makes sense.
Also, that kick to the neck really fucked her life up.
That too. That's what I mean. After that, why would the fuck would you get hit for real? Like, why would you get beat up for real when at least this person's trying to take care of you? You might get injured by accident, but they're not trying to kill you like the other fucking people. So, March 25th, 2020, 4:43 a.m.
Oh, boy. Early riser.
Oh, he's up early, baby. He's arrested this morning in Albuquerque on charges of driving under the influence, negligent use of a firearm, and possession of an open container, and, of course, no proof of insurance, because why would you have insurance for all of this craziness?
He doesn't have enough money to buy insurance.
No, apparently not. $14 million isn't enough. Local police officers respond to 3rd and Central Avenues in Albuquerque after gunshots were fired shortly after 1 a.m. The officers reportedly found Jones inside a running vehicle, and he said he denied knowing anything about the gunshots. I don't know what you're talking about. He told the officers he'd been driving and also was planning on driving after that. Yeah, I'm sitting in the car. And they said they observed signs of intoxication and asked for the DUI kit and all that kind of shit. So they said his eyes were bloodshot and watery, smell of alcohol around his face, and they end up doing the whole thing. And it's parked in front of a bar called The Library.
Okay.
So tells you a lot right there. Yeah, exactly. The officer said on 3/6/20 at about 12:58 a.m. I was on 3rd and Central in the parking lot. I heard a single gunshot on the west, to the west on Central. I drove west on Central, observed a black Jeep on the south side of the street parked in front of 312 Central. I observed a male in the driver's seat and a subject on the sidewalk by the passenger door. I observed no other subjects in the area. I pulled up behind the vehicle and turned on my overhead lights. Vehicle was running. Told the driver to roll the windows down. I observed an open bottle of alcohol on the floor behind the passenger seat. It was a quarter full bottle of tequila. So that's what he's got. I asked the driver to hand me the bottle. I also observed that he had a green leafy substance on his shirt and pants consistent with marijuana. I identified the driver as Jonathan Jones. I asked Jones about the gunshot, and he stated he didn't know. At least he didn't call him a fucking liar.
Right.
I asked him why he was out, and he stated he wanted to go for a drive. Okay. I asked him for the vehicle registration and proof of insurance. He fumbled with his documents and was not able to locate proof of insurance. He does have it registered, though. That's a step up for him. He's going in the right. You got to give give credit where credit's due. It's the right direction. I also observed that Jones had an odor of alcohol coming from his facial area. Officer Johnson completed his investigation, placed him under arrest here for DUI. He ends up having, I think it's about double the legal limit of booze in his system. They said he performed poorly in sobriety and alternative tests and per body cam footage, which you can see online. Yeah. You can watch him perform poorly. You can make a judgment for yourself. He was searched and given a breath test. Those results were to be at or twice above the legal limit. So there you go. And a history check of his history turned up a previous DUI arrest. They searched the vehicle, and you know what they find? A handgun under the fucking driver's seat and a bottle of tequila there. So, he's charged with that as well. Aggravated drinking while under the influence of intoxicating liquors with a 0.16 or above blood alcohol level.
Oh, that's an extreme.
That's a double. Yep, doubled them up. That's aggravated. Negligent use of a deadly weapon. Negligent because he's intoxicated and he has one. And an open container as well.
Well, all they got to do is do that. I've watched enough 48, first 48. Fucking swab those hands and see if there's gunpowder residue.
Yeah, they call it fucking not nuke. What the fuck do they say? Neutron that bitch. That's what they used to say back in the day. Neutron that
motherfucker.
That's it. Neutron that bitch. It's from Homicide. Anyway, May 2020 here. He's in a conflict with Dana White over pay. You don't have the best bargaining position when you just got fucking busted bucking shots off while shit hammered in front of a bar in the street. He fighting with him. Jones wants a fight with a heavyweight contender, Nagano, I guess. And according to White, he wanted Deontay Wilder money, referring to the 25 to 30 million in earnings in his rematch with Tyson Fury held in February 2020. Yeah, he should box then because you make that money in boxing. Right. Otherwise, it all filters through Dana White and you don't get much.
I also want Michael Jordan money, but I podcast.
That's the difference.
You know what I mean?
I'll take like Frank Jordan money. He's a guy he's the custodian at the elementary school over here. So August 15th, 2020, he announces on social media that he's relinquishing the light heavyweight championship as well as just expressing a desire to move up to heavyweight. September 23rd, 2021. This is a fucked up night, Jimmy. Wild night. His fight is inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, the Gustafsson fight.
Yep.
So that's that night. He's out. He's happy. He's out with his friends. Well, by 4:30 a.m., things have gone a bit awry.
They oftentimes do for him.
Yep, they do. He's staying at Caesars. There, it's in Vegas, the whole ceremony. A security guard calls the police, calls 911, and says that, quote, we got a possible DV call, domestic violence call. Female is bleeding from the nose and mouth. This is at 4:30 in the morning. He says she's not admitting to any domestic violence, but she's bleeding from the nose and mouth. She's down with us while the male's up in the room. He's actually a professional MMA fighter, Jonathan Jones, and she's refusing to go back to the room. We're trying to assist her and help her grab her stuff, but she will just not go back. She's like, God. He'll kick all of your asses. Do you understand that? Elbows, knees, elbows. You'll all be laying there, and then I'm fucked. I'm not trying to make light of this, but I mean, she's smart. She's like, you work at Caesars. He's going to kick your ass.
The only fight he lost is when he threw the elbows he's going to throw at you.
Yeah, because there's no ref here.
Right.
So security informs the dispatch of all this type of shit. Now, they said that she came to the desk. This is still Jessie Moses, by the way. Same girl from high school, from a junior in high school till now. And this was a couple months ago,
2 months
in 2021. Yeah. She explained she didn't feel safe going from the room, and she was taken with her children, by the way. The children are here, Jimmy.
The kids.
To a security office. Once there, the youngest child asked security, can you call the cops?
Yeah.
The kid said it. Oh, my God. They identified her as a white female adult with bleeding from the nose and mouth. Jones's fiance. It's been a while, dude. Either marry her or don't. Give me a fucking break, fiance. You have 3 kids and you've been together since fucking you were in biology class together. Fucking married, stupid.
Since you carried a JanSport, for Christ's sake.
At this point, maybe she shouldn't, though. Police arrived and were informed that the suspect, which is Jones, had left the property and was picked up outside walking down the street with his friends. As he was being detained, he's pissed off.
Oh, he's mad?
They're fucking up his big night, is the way he's looking at it. Quote, as Jones was being detained, he became irate and smashed his head into the front hood of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department patrol vehicle, leaving a medium-sized dent as well as chipping some of the paint off the vehicle.
Wow.
He just smashed his head into it. So then he's charged with injuring or disabling a vehicle, and they're going to charge him for that as well, and for what it costs. So they talked to Jessie Moses. She stated that she's engaged to John. They've been together for 17 years, 3 children. She said that she hadn't even been arguing with him, but she said about 11:30 local time, he went out with his friends and she stayed in with the kids. After the ceremony and all that, he's going out with the boys. She said she was sleeping and he came back in and he wasn't very happy. And she said, and they said, did he get physical with you? And she said, a little bit, yeah. She then claimed that he, quote, touched the back of my head and pulled my hair a little bit, but he didn't hit me or anything.
No.
He said that she said that Jones told her that he grabbed her by the hair because she was, quote, trying to leave the room. Why would you?
So it wasn't like he was waking her up, like, you know what I mean, all sexy like?
So then police said, okay, but if he didn't hit you or anything, why do you have blood all over your sweatshirt, all over your chin and face? And a bump on your chin and, quote, dried up blood on the lower part of your lip as if you're in a physical altercation. She said, oh, my lips get really dry. I mean,
does anybody have any cherry chapstick?
Not to laugh at a scared woman who's obviously petrified of this man, but
that is a fascinating choice.
Not a good excuse. I mean, I'm sorry. You can say I'm not sure or whatever, but don't say they're really dry. These guys they're not completely fucking brain damaged, these guys, like he is.
Yeah, I fell down and hit the doorknob.
This is disgusting.
My lips are dry?
And they said that she had blood, quote, around her lips, chin, and all over her sweatshirt, along with a swollen lip. And she seems scared to even talk about Jones. She's fucking terrified. Who knows what he puts her through?
Unbelievable.
So, she said that, they said, how long do you have until he's out again, basically? Or when they said they would arrest him, she said, how long do I have until he's out?
Yeah.
When's he going to come out pissed off, basically? They said she still seemed very scared as to the release of Jonathan from jail. And he said they became extremely agitated when they Mirandized him. He fucking smashed his head into the car. Then he said that he will have a huge lawsuit filed against the police department for putting him in handcuffs on the biggest night of his life.
Is that a lawsuit?
That is the fact. Yeah, you can't ruin the biggest night of my life. That's a lawsuit.
That's illegal.
Totally illegal, yeah. He said, listen, this is what happened. I came home at 4:30 in the morning from being out all night with my boys. First of all, if she's not mad at you, you're in pretty good fucking shape, number one. You should probably be happy with that. Take it as a win. He only came back to the room, though, to grab $10,000 in cash so he and his friends could go out to a strip club at 4:45 in the morning.
$10,000.
You go into your wife's room after being out all night while she's there with the kids, wake her ass up and be like, I'm taking $10,000 so I can throw it at other women's tits, and see how she fucking reacts to that too.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Of course she would be like, you ain't going nowhere, motherfucker. And then he was like, fuck you, I'll do what I want, which is insanity here. This is fucking nuts here. So they took him in for all of that. They said that he joked about the arrest. He would say that he would like to take us all on and see what we could do.
My God.
He said he was joking, though. Then he said he could escape the handcuffs if he wanted to.
All right, Houdini.
And the officers told him that if you continued to resist, they would tase him. And at that point, he apologized and complied. He's like, nobody ever put me in that hold before. That'll probably work. He's charged with the misdemeanor domestic battery as well as a felony charge for the damage done to the police car. It is more of a crime to headbutt a police car than to fucking hit your wife or your fiance. Yeah. That is wild.
Welcome to Vegas.
Whoa. My fucking mind just went poof. Your wife's face, no problem. The hood of a police car, felony. Holy shit. At one point, he broke down into tears and was alternating between acting angry and crying. That's called shit-faced. That's what you do when you're shit. You motherfuckers, you don't understand, man. And then it's just, because, man, get the fuck away from me. Seriously, man, I'm not taking this shit. That's a drunk person.
That's everybody ever on cops.
Everybody, yeah. Well, they're unpredictable. Better get them in cuffs. He said that they've been through a lot of personal issues and that he's been arguing about the tension between them. And then, took him there. Dana White had something to say about this. He said, quote, "It's hard to bring this guy to Las Vegas for any reason. This city is not good for John Jones, and here we are again." Meanwhile, most of the time he gets arrested, it's never in Vegas. It's in Albuquerque. It's in Ithaca. Quote, "It's not even shocking anymore. When we bring him here, it's almost expected. We can't even get him to Las Vegas for less than 12 hours and induct him into the Hall of Fame. It's a problem. This guy's got a lot of demons, man. A lot of demons." Now, his father would say, in a way, I think John is preaching.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's at least showing us the ways of sin and how not to live. You know,
how not to live.
He's doing the opposite, which is, in a way, preaching.
Preaching, in a way. Now, he also, a few days later, posts a video with his fiance there, less than a week later, where they're, kissing and... they have John Legend's "Stay With You" playing in the background.
Stop this.
Yeah, he posted on Instagram. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
That's his Kobe tattoo? That's his "I'm
the
sorry"?
One. Here's my $6 million ring. You get a video of John Legend in the background.
Holy shit.
October 13th, 2021. It's like right up till today. He's suspended from his gym. He's suspended from the gym in Albuquerque over this incident. The coaches... Greg Jackson and Brandon Gibson still plan to coach him outside of the gym, but the main guy who owns the gym said, "You're not fucking coming here." Yeah, John Jones has been temporarily suspended from training with the Jackson Wink Academy team. He will continue to train with John off-site as long as he keeps his commitment to a healthy and positive lifestyle. And, they said, quote, "I said, John, here's the deal, man. You're like my little brother. You have to stop drinking and fix these things for a certain period of time until you come back to the gym." So, at the moment, he's out of the gym. He's not allowed to come in the gym because I feel like I had to do that. Ignoring it and expecting different results, as they say, is insanity.
Right.
So, they said they'll do that. His response is, quote, "Had a heartbreaking conversation over the phone with my longtime coaches last night. Really hurts to lose the support of someone I respect so much. Sincere thank you to the rest of the coaches for staying in the fight with me. Our journey continues." He then gets a new gym, and he says he's got a new home base. Everything's fine and happy. And he books his next fight, which will be a grappling match with Fury Professional Grappling against the wrestling guy who used to be Jack Swagger in the WWE.
Oh, okay.
He's also a college, I think, NCAA champion wrestler or some shit,
Jesus.
too. He's like he was a real like college wrestler because he was on Tough Enough. Oh, and that was his thing, is like he was a no shit legit college wrestler and just had to learn to, not be so stiff and shit. So he's going to fight that guy in a grappling match. So that'll be very interesting. I don't know when that's going to happen. Yeah. He says, "Breaking news, I'm excited to announce I'll be competing for the #1 grappling organization in the world, Fury Grappling. They have upwards of 8 fans." He said he'll be competing against him, and then Jack Swagger guy said, "I don't know if that's true or not. We haven't really ironed out all the details, so who knows?"
Maybe.
Then he said that he's clean. He's all clean now. All clean. He said, "I have way too much trauma to consume alcohol anymore. My brain simply can't handle it anymore. I will leave alcohol in my past forever. Now's the time to work harder than ever. Turn this nightmare into the best thing to ever happen to my life." Nightmare. Then he's in Arizona. Quote, "Watch out, Jimmie. It's time to bring out the trusted house sitters. The family and I are spending Thanksgiving in Arizona this year." That was...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he'll be out there. Him and his brother might kill you. You never know. He said...
that makes sense why. Okay, I'm like, why would he be in Arizona?
He also said he might be looking at some real estate out there as well.
I'm glad that shit's too expensive.
Yeah, well, he said this market's crazy. He said, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. my family, my life, my career could have been over after what happened in Las Vegas, but God had other plans for me. 60 days sober and counting. That sounds like preaching. And also, I'm good now. That's what that is. So there's all of that. He's still on the Monster Energy drink site. If you go, he's still like have a profile of him. So they're still sponsoring.
He is a monster, so it makes sense.
It's wife beater fuel, apparently. Monster Energy. Drink it, then beat your wife in a fucking Vegas hotel room. Get the fuck out of here. Can't get enough? You can buy a whole bunch of John Jones UFC shit. Pictures are like signed picture for $65. I don't want any of his shit. Fuck this guy.
Get the fuck out of here.
There's all sorts of shit.
You said get the fuck out of here. About people drinking Monster and beating their family.
Well, what are they doing? That's who they're putting up there?
It's pretty funny.
Our hero.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus.
I mean, if you think of things that people drink before they beat their family, it's that
Monster.
and then Budweiser.
That's
you know
the two.
I mean? It's nailing it.
That's the fucking two. So that is John Bones Jones, everybody. And I'm very glad that we waited for him to marinate and percolate and get to a point of ripeness where we could really pluck him off the tree. Especially, what if he's clean and sober from now on, never does anything crazy again? We perfectly nailed it.
Got him.
Don't think that's going to happen, though, but you never know.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that show, please tell the world about it. Give us a review, 5 stars on whatever app or platform you're listening to. It really helps, so thank you for doing that. In addition to that, you can help the show out very easily by going to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
Get some tickets to live shows. There's a Crime and Sports next August in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Get your tickets now. It's at a small club, not a big place. It's going to sell out. Get your tickets now. Also, tickets available. Oh, Boston, I know, is sold out.
Seattle's got some.
Seattle's got some tickets. Buy your tickets for Seattle. Portland nobody's returned those things. Those are solid. We love Portland. Fuck yeah, Portland. We love you. Can't wait. Get those. Patreon.com/crime and sports. This week, amazing as usual. We do not short you on Patreon. No. You're getting the goods. This week, by the way, anybody $5 or above, you get access to all of the Patreon for both shows, Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports. 2 episodes every couple weeks, 4 episodes a month. Fun stuff. This week, we're going to have, for the Crime and Sports episode, it is sports superstitions. Crazy batshit sports superstitions that athletes need to do things that are weird. And there's been so many of them throughout history. This is going to be like a lot hard to pick from to get them all in there.
Yeah.
Then for Small Town Murders episode, something that I think everybody should be interested in, at least, the Nexium cult. And what the fuck happened there? Because I've read 4 books on it now.
Really?
4. From different angles, people who were in it, a lady who just knew Keith really well. I've read every angle possible, and I think I got this asshole clock pretty good. And we'll fucking talk about him.
Yeah.
And how somehow he figured out how to merge occult and multi-level. He merged Avon and fucking Jonestown together somehow and made a crazy multi-level fucking cult. It's the weirdest shit ever.
Fuck a girl from small town.
Smallville. And then mixed in fucking in it somehow, which is, I guess, the Jonestown aspect of it. So absolutely crazy shit. Check that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you're going to get a shout out.
Yep.
But if you just want the shout out, we can do that as well. Just go to PayPal, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. And we will definitely give you a shout out over that. That said, I know Jimmie wants to sing to me in an operatic tone the names of the most wonderful goddamn people this week that would never beat the shit out of us, take $10,000, then go to a strip club. Jimmie, hit me with those names like you're John Jones.
This week's executive producers are Corporal Carl Kirshner, Terry Swartos, Larry Butterfast, Jordan Bennett, Melissa Turner, happy birthday, P.S.
Hey, happy birthday.
And Madison Freeman. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank
Other
you,
producers
everybody.
this week are Part Gary's daughter, Megan Gary, was in a car accident, James. Her 4-month-old baby, Avon Lee, I think. Grace.
Oh, no, don't tell me
she
so
was
bad.
She's fine, unharmed.
God. I was
but
so
the
scared.
car, James. If you're gonna Uber, motherfuckers, knock it off.
That
there are
scared the shit out of me.
4-month-old kids in cars out there, and you can
be
hurt
careful.
people.
And
She's
pregnant
fine.
ladies like
She's
John
perfectly
Bones Jones,
healthy.
we found out.
Miraculous.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Congratulations. We're happy.
If you saw the car, James, you'd lose your mind.
That's frightening.
Hang in there, Megan. Get better, and your husband as well.
Shit, yeah.
Also, other producers this week, Liz Vasquez. Thanks for coming to the show, Liz. It was great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
James Martyr, Sky Lolo, and the Haiti Kid. Shit of Perlman.
That is a little people tag team.
It's Gary Friedman. He's fucking amazing.
He knows the old wrestling.
King Kong Mosca. You know that
Angelo
one as well?
Mosca. Man, 70s and 80s. It's fucking mainly 70s guy. Star.
I think Gary's showing his age with these references. Pete.
Yeah.
He
so.
Really.
These are before my time.
He digs so deep.
I'm a student of the game.
There you go. Peyton Meadows, prom night prom night dumpster baby. That's what it is.
Prom night dumpster baby. It's a Family Guy song.
All right. Happy birthday, Libby. Zumba Len Wojciechowski, I think. Jordan Schmood. Cliff Martz, Doug Jones, Avon Mergen, John Ure in Minnesota, I think. Happy birthday, Johnny. Jason Dingus.
Jason Dingus.
It is. These people's names are for real, by the way. I think there's 3 in here that donated because their last name is Dingus.
I saw them commenting about it. I was like, that's hilarious.
Janice Welmer's passed away. Sorry about that, Andrew. Hang in there, buddy. I think it's his grandma. He's a good kid.
Sucks. Yeah,
Nancy Weaver, Steve Schnell, Sammy Dingus Quigley, Janice Hill, Susanna Platt, Happy Hour checking in from Crossville, Tennessee, Michael Perney, Mr. Fun, Anna Watson, Heavy Metal Bluegrass, Brooke Harper, Jordan Upham, Melissa Kryswiecki, what is this, Kryswiecki?
Kryswiecki? You cry whiskey sometimes.
Jason, I mostly sweat it. Jason Fifield, Devo with no last name. Soraya Saja Dian, Malicious Hat, Julian Manti, Tamara Gallagher, Jeff Green, Sean Musburger, Molly with no last name, Mike Duh, Chase Morgan, Laura Gilchrist, Angela Palmer, Caitlin Wedgwood, Joe Monahan, Amanda Armstrong, Joe Lynn Curran. Happy birthday, Jay Wilkinson. G&H told us to tell you that. Kendrick Rand, call sign Matora. I don't know what that is. Alisdair? I don't know. Call sign? That can't be
like
somebody's
Top Gun?
Name. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like Maverick? Is
that a call sign Matora? Matora, is that a thing?
Hell do I know? Maybe.
Alistair Young, Brittany Worth, and San Bernardino. Thank you, Brittany. Kaylee Greer, Annabelle Mankey, Rebecca True, Gary Donnan, Laurel Matson Bonner, Angelo Alarid, Rachel Hagen, Nicole Aggressor, John Oswald, Colton with no last name, Tara Layton, Christopher Margolin, Gavin, what is this? Locher Reacher. Close enough.
That's great.
Tara Gonzalez,
Good
Clay
one.
Mahagan, Kay Bear, yes. Karen Drusendahl, Andrea Lest, Kimberly Sullivan, Brandon Gunn, Tyler Wells, Taylor Sabini, John and Annie Trimble, Jesse Skurkowski, Brandon Self, Laura Albertson, Kristen Halderman, Cassidy Ann Preston Wolf, Zach Harmeyer, D with no last name, Michelle McCauley, Heather Brianna, Amber with no last name, Sharon with no last name, Lucas with no last name, Hillary Roberts, Nick Boyles, Keith Jones, Kat Winchester, Kristen C., Kim with no last name, Matthew Van Landingham, Hanny with no last name, Michael Music, Denise Mestrucci, Dylan and Jimmie, both with no last name. Ben McKee, Suka, Mapine. Are you proud of yourself? Suka Mypine, you son of a bitch.
Very.
Roz Odell, Heather Cochran, Amanda Conlon, Tasha with no last name, Matt Nicholson, Kraut Creamer.
Kraut Creamer.
That's one.
Fucks German girls.
Bailey Chapman, Jake Yohn, Zara Kadwalawala, Benjamin Sarmat. That's a real last name, James.
Probably not the way it's said, maybe.
Probably not.
I would say it's probably
I'll bet I was close. Jesse Beard, Kylie Nolan, Aaron Dalkey, Yuli with no last name, Karina Sieber, Tucker Modler, Laurel Smith, Sylvia Fisher, whatever. Rob Naylor, I hardly know her. Austin Holmes, Colby with no last name, Kathy Moore, Jamie Fuller, Christopher Roberto.
Take my wife, please. I take my wife everywhere, but she finds a way home.
Charlie Drolette, Irving Masvidal, Pam Smith, Lacey Beachy, Robbie Arnold, Daniel Sokolsky, Edwin Snell, Mariah, Elizabeth Barnes, Colby McIntosh, Tom Jump, Grim Mystery Podcast, Kyle McKay, Stephanie DeGizzere. I'm sorry, James.
Sure.
Don't be mad at me. Mark Green, Gayla Ignacio, Jill Cook, Danya Parr, Jordan Stuckey. G. Gao.
Went to see my doc. They gave me 6 months to live. Told him I couldn't pay the bill. They gave me another 6 months.
Jordan Stuckey, Lauren Flake, John Petrowski, Dylan Meyer. My mom used to say I was ugly. She was so ugly, she gave me a toaster to play with in the bathtub. Johnny Stackhouse, Emily Simonek, Jen Katz, John Gleason, probably Jackie's kid, Alex Below, Marcella with no last name, Cash with no last name, Stephen Vega, Derek Allen, Nathan Gass, Pla Sauce, Dave Gamblin, William Lore Sr., and also Melissa Noor Vera Millie. I think. I don't know. And all of our patrons, you guys do everything for us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us. We couldn't do anything without you, honestly. Truly. You're the lifeblood of this show, so thank you so much for supporting it, and we just hope you love the fucking Patreon and the bonus episodes. And we hope you do, because we love making them, and you seem to enjoy them. So, Jimmy, what if they wanted to enjoy you? How could they do that outside of the show?
We are 2 hours plus into this, damn near 3. You've enjoyed me enough. What about you, James?
That's it. Just look us up. You look up Crime and Sports Hosts. That's us. You'll find us. Me. That sounds good. Both of us will be there. Probably pictures and everything. So you could follow us. It's the whole thing. You know, there's the internet. It's crazy.
It's a bananas place.
That said, hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll have more shit to enjoy next week, live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.